Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining in. So welcome to our Wednesday pronunciation. So let me share my screen with all of you. And today's sessions, we have an interesting topic today to start with. This series we will continue. And today, as I say that these sessions are pretty much planned for you. And we have every day, this is a prime time. And so this entire thing we have not already discussing, we will be continue this series, and we have 7 days, 7 series at evening 8 p.m. So it starts. And today we're actually starting a little late at 8:30. We're starting it, but every day stay tuned for 8 p.m. IST Indian Standard Time, and for every day we have a topic. Okay, every day we have a theme also. You can see that Sunday we are starting with identity leadership transformation. Monday HR transformation. Tuesday is your revenue Tuesday, we call it, and customer experience and revenue transformation. Every Wednesday, we talk about intelligent finance transformation. And Thursday, we have a procurement topics. And Friday, we have supply chain. And Saturday is all about the business transformation using your typical enterprise and business transformation. This is the key focus area. So today we are in Wednesday, and today we have a very special plan for finance Wednesday, we call it. So as we move on, we'll be talking about this is a series we are starting with the episode number 1. And as I said, we'll talk about the very basic thing. People who do not have any background with finance, you must have studied basics of finance in your, typical. I remember that in MBA we had a paper, right? So depending upon your specializations and all, you must have studied that. And also, or you must have studied all those things if you have done engineering, or you have done a chartered accountant or a typical commerce background. If you have been, right, you must have studied a little bit the basics of it. But we will be focusing this more on the architectural side of it, more of an ERP approach, because that has been my strength area. And that is what exactly also the maximum jobs are there, okay, from technology point of view. And we'll talk about that. So this is the audience finance, non-finance for everyone, and about transforming. So you can see the architecting the future of finance, record to report transformation. And this is how the record to report journey works. Okay, record, process, report, close, perform, and all. And this ultimately it is going to be a course bundle and for the entire in the future. And we are starting with today. So we will start with today is the course series, the first episode. The episode today's name is the ledger and the kitchen. So I will be simplifying the concept as much as possible. I know people, if you're joining from US and other related those areas, I think this is a morning time for you. This is a breakfast time, okay? And people who are joining from India and all, this is like a dinner time for you, okay? So let's start with today's topic, and we will talk about so first of all, we'll start the series. I will not be going through the entire notes and everything. So these notes, people who are already part of our platform, they will be getting the access, and stay tuned till the end, okay? And we will be having this for you, right? And this entire thing, the ledger and kitchens, which is I'm talking about, we'll be giving a very simple examples how we understand very complex topics of finance, right? So now with that note, let's then get started. And this entire session today will be covering what are the different modules of finance we have and what are the different topics. So we may not be covering everything, but we will be having very basic stuff, at least we will start with, okay? So without any further ado, let's get started with today's topic. We will be giving a meaning of a Desi breakfast buffet example and how it will be guiding us to the typical SAP FICO model, right? People who are very new to FICO, you must have two word FI and CO, and we'll be utilizing the typical Desi breakfast buffet guide, and we will be using that. So this entire journey will be talking about different breakfast, Indian breakfast, specifically around the restaurant in the world, from idli to pav bhaji to everything, parotha, dosa, whatever, right? So in this webinar, we will be seeing that first finance point of view, we'll talk about 2 notebooks, okay? And before that, I would also recommend to have your own notebook and with a pen and paper, sit in a quiet place, because it's not so easy to understand. We have tried to simplify, but stay tuned, okay, till the end to get the maximum benefit out of it. And people who are already participating in the Zoom room and all, definitely, and live sessions, and you will be having your coupon and a lot of other things, gifts will be getting till the end. To wait till the end. and that playbook and a lot of offers will be there. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. And whenever you're having a talking about the breakfast, every restaurant needs two kind of notebooks. One is your big ledger, what we call FI. So now we are decoding the typical FICO, FI and CO. What are those, right? The FI is all about the big ledger we're talking about. Okay, so they will show you the the taxman, the bank, okay, whatever single money you are spending, just you're tracking everything. Okay, and it has to be 100% accurate. So till whatever the counting you are doing. So this is actually the ledger part of it. And as I say, it will be like you're tracking each and every paisa. Okay, each and every penny for you. Okay, and this will be the big ledger, financial accounting. And similarly, we have a CO. CO stands for controlling. So controlling is all about your typical strategy book. Okay, it is actually, you don't have to show to someone, right? It is only for you, for your internal audience, staff and manager. They will be talking about it, and it breaks your money down into the buckets, okay, by section and business and all. Right. So we may have a strategy question like, should we stop selling upma and focus on puri, or so something like that, right? So these are the two notebooks you will be having always. Every restaurant, if you're talking about a food business, if you're talking about, if you're a food entrepreneur and a food lover like me, okay, you must be able to relate to this topic. Okay, so FI is a big ledger book, which is for public, for tax system point of view, for external audiences, government partners, banks. It must be 100% accurate. It's a kind of a legal report card for your business, right? But when it comes to CO, it is strategy book. Okay, you don't have to showcase to outsider, but how do you plan? How do you, break it down? How do you, for your internal audiences? So now I'm sure it must be clear for you what is FI and what is CO, right? So that is as simple as that. Now moving on. So now let's decode the entire buffet, the big ledger part of it, the official report card of your buffet. Okay. So if we talk about what does it track, it is actually tracking every single rupee that is entering your shop or that is leaving your shop, right? From the your morning milk delivery to the evening cash register total, everything. Okay. It will track each and everything. That is your financial accounting. That's a big ledger from a restaurant example if I'm talking about, right? Then also you will also ask at the end of the year. So that is financial year. Just now we finished the financial year. So we can also talk about at the end of the year, did the restaurant really make some profit or really make some loss, right? There is one number, one answer. So the entire business will be depending on that, because you're doing a profit or a loss. Okay, so those questions, the ledger only can answer. Okay, so also we talk about the audience. Okay, people outside the audience, but outside the kitchen, the government, your bank manager, they say, and or the business partners. If you're an entrepreneur, you must be having some business partners who are invested in your restaurant or the buffet, right? So in that buffet, you will be having all these things. And also it has to follow, I'm talking about India, similarly, other countries have their own standard accounting standards and everything, right? So those things also to be taken care of here. So you must follow those legal rules. Like in India, we have Indian accounting standards. It has to be must be following all the GST and all those stuff, 100% accurate, all the kind of legal documents also, what are the bank is trusting. So all the things which will be taken care. Now the next one is the CO part of it. In details, it's all about the strategy part of it. Okay, so it is a kind of a private diary. So for in your restaurant business, it has to be properly maintained. And first things comes here, the cost center. Okay, that means how much you are spending. Suppose you are having different in your restaurant, you're having different types of dishes. It could be South Indian section, like having idli, dosa, all those things, or you're having North Indian section where you have parathas, sabji, all those things you're having. Cost center. From a product costing, what is the product costing? So it will be talking about, does it cost more to make the pav bhaji butter or the dokla steam, right? Which this is currently secretly expensive. That is actually the ingredient level we're talking about, right? So that is a product costing. But cost center is actually how much is spending on the section part of it, whether it's a South Indian section or a North Indian section. That is how we understand. So I'm just giving simplified example at a point of time. We'll be understanding the industry example in the upcoming session. But now, from a big question, probably the big question will be whether we will stop selling upma or focus on puri because it makes more money, right? So that is what exactly you can think about. Different questions you might be having, right? So this is what your typical CO module talks about. You're typically controlling, whenever you're talking about controlling, that is what exactly the kitchen strategy book. It's all about the kitchen strategy book, right? Now moving on, how are they working in a silo, FI and CO? No, they work together. Although there are FI and CO, we call it two different, but they work together. And let's say you can think about your 10 kilo bag of potatoes, right? So I'm giving SAP example, but again, it is applicable for any product you're talking about, whether it is your Workday or any other product or ERP you are utilizing, it doesn't matter. But try to understand the concept and the principles behind it. Okay, it is applicable universally any other product also. Because I'm SAP consultant, I'm giving SAP example. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen in other products. Okay, they're also equally good. So I will say here, SAP FICO, these two notebooks do not work separately. FI and CO, they talk to each other. And whenever you're buying a 10 kilo of potatoes, what happens? FI, let's say, we will talk about here, we actually, how much money we have spent. That means 500 rupees for the 10 kilo of potato, right? Then your CO will talk about where did it go. So then it will be giving an example that, so you can see that example. So they will be talking about that, okay, 200 rupees we spent here, 200 rupees there, and 100 rupees here, like that. So they will be, the FI will be telling, FI wall will be talking about how much money you have, but CO module will be talking about where that money actually went, okay? So that you can plan a better menu tomorrow. That is how these two modules, they work in sync. They are not different, means they are actually working synchronized. They work together, by the way, okay? So that is how our understanding will be. Now, it's as simple as that. It's like if you talk about another angle, like the history and strategy, right? FI is all about what happened already and how much money you have and big number and how much profit you made. Like, so let's say you made 50,000 profit in this month. That is all about history, okay? But strategy, CO will talk about all about the strategy, okay, the control part. So what should you do next? So wherever money is used, okay, whether your pav bhaji is expensive due to extra butter or dhokla is more profitable, so we can think about it. That is how the simplified version I can think of, okay? So now what happens after that, if we talk about the full story is your business, so entire two things, okay? So now we are going a little bit deeper, okay, and we will try to understand this as well. How CO module, so for that I would recommend to go to a mind map. We will start creating a mind map for it. So let's do that. I will go to the another applications called app Ayoa, which is my mind map. So in that mind map, we'll try to draw all of these things so that we will be remembering and connect the dot. Okay. Otherwise, there's so many things it is difficult for you to, get it. Okay. So I will go to the project. So let me go to a project folder. So I do have already folders here. So I'll go to my folder structure. Let me create a mind map. So in this way, you can also learn how to I know there are mind maps, you can do it using AI, but I preferably use manual mind maps. So I remember the things in a way. Okay. So I will go to my professional goals, and inside that I will be creating my own mind map. Okay. So I will go here, and this is our finance transformation project. And we will be creating a new folder. This is our finance transformation. And we'll be creating a folder, and inside this, we will be creating our own mind map for this particular topic. So inside the finance transformations, we will go here and let's create a mind map. So I will create a mind map project here. So project will be a mind map. So this is for FI CO. Creating a mind map. Next. So what I will do here, and black mind map I will be creating here. Okay. So what I can do here, so I will be using very simple example and create. So let's say FICO like this, and okay, no. Okay. Let me go here. And we talked about FI and CO part. FI is there and CO is also there. Okay. So these are two parts we talked about. And FI was all about the strategy. Sorry, the past part of it. Okay. The ledger part of it we have studied. And this one is all about the strategy, right? What is happening in the future. Okay. So what else we have here? If we talk about in this, there are 6 components you are seeing here, and specifically in the meet the SAP CO module we talk about here. So CO has a lot of components you can see, right? So if you think about 6 kitchen sections, so if you're having different sections in your kitchen, right? So you may be having your typically overhead cost controlling. That means your billing like electricity, rent, manager salary, all those things are becoming under the overhead cost controlling. Okay. Similarly, if you're talking about product cost planning, so every the recipe price, what should it cost to make one masala dosa, if you want to calculate all those things, that will become under product cost planning. Okay, so we'll try to understand this with more examples. Okay, so CO cost object controlling, this is like a tracker. Okay, how much actually having your whenever cooking and all this cooking, live cooking tracker, what is the actual cost of a particular catering order if you're doing it. Okay, then comes your actual costing, so that is a material ledger. So every end of the day, you are checking whatever the reality check of your all the price changes or if anything is happening, adjusting to that. So you'll understanding all this in a better way. Then also we have profit center accounting. So like if you're having different types of halls, like SC hall, garden setting, okay, which is making more profit. Okay, so those kind of accounting also you can do. That's called a profit center accounting. But when it comes to big picture, COPA, we have a profitability analysis. So whether it is having big picture, like families, if you're coming, if the family dinner or family lunch, or it is making more beneficial for to do from an official worker group of people coming together and they are taking the lunch or dinner, right? So where exactly your profitability happening? Okay, so these are the key things we will be talking about. So in the one by one, so we will see the first one is overhead cost controlling, the COOM. Okay, overhead cost controlling. So we will go about here. So I will take this graph here. We will be only. So first of all, we'll talk about the components. So CO components and what we have seen components here. So there are 6 components we talked about, right? So the 6 components what we see here is first one is overhead cost controlling. Okay, COOM. Okay, overhead cost controlling. Overhead cost controlling. That is your first component of your CO. Right? This is the first one. Then next in this, what we are trying to understand is, as I said, the common expense bucket. Okay, there are certain costs. They are not just 1 days, or you have to pay for electricity. Definitely, you are having a rent. If you're not having your own building, you are having a rent, and also your cleaning person who is cleaning the entire room or those area. They pay the salary of the cleaners, right? Regardless whether you are having whether you're selling your 10 dosa or 1,000 dosa, doesn't matter. But these are some kind of a cost you have to bear, right? That is actually the thing here. So overhead cost actually sometimes jump quickly, and it is very difficult, sometimes very hard to see whether who is actually having, whether the North Indian or South Indian section both use your lights and fans. It doesn't matter, right? So actually that's the problem. But the goal is to make sure North Indian and South Indian sections share the bill fairly for your all kind of this kind of a cost, like your lights, fans, or cleaning stuff. Okay, so basically it will be explaining you this entire COM or overhead cost controlling. It will be explaining you all the tools to shine the light on this, all kind of hidden expenses you are having, all what kind of expenses you are having apart from your regular thing, right? So that you can find a way to reduce. So that is what exactly this solution is all about. So this module is all about overhead cost controlling. Okay. So this is what we talk about here, overhead cost controlling. Okay. So this is what we've understood from here. Okay. So now, so this is designated by a term called COOM. Okay. So that is the term which it officially SAP uses. Okay. COOM, cost, overhead cost controlling. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Next one is your COPC PCP, product cost planning. Okay, COPC PCP, that is your product cost planning. Product COPC PCP, product cost planning. So what does it do in this component? This component is all about, if you see here, it's all kind of a recipe. What are the recipe you are having, the price tag, okay? And like you have to decide, let's say, to make one masala dosa, how much batter you need, how much oil you need, how much scoop of potato masala you need it, right? So basically, according to that, you have to do the calculation. Okay. So let's say you are preparing a masala dosa, right? Imagine that. And if your ingredients itself is costing you 40 rupees, you cannot sell it for 30 rupees, right? I remember in Hyderabad when I was in 2010, I mean my early career, we used to have a dosa at 8 rupees. I can't imagine. So near that, near our wherever we were staying, near to Metro campus, just that. So we used to have 8 rupees, and whenever I left in 2011, and the person increased the dosa price by 2 rupees. It was at 10 rupees. Okay, I can't imagine at that cost now. Okay, at least in wherever I go here in Gurgaon or in any other cities also, it's the typical prices. If you go to standard, it is not less than 80-90 rupees. Yeah, on an average, I'm saying you can go into a bigger like Haldiram and not less than 200-250s, right? That's the cost. Okay. So whenever you're talking about this kind of ingredient, right, to decide the price would be the ingredient cost itself is a 40 rupees. You cannot sell it as 30 rupees. Definitely you have to keep a margin on that. You have to, the ingredient cost, you have to also estimate. Okay. So this kind of a calculations you have to do. And calculate also the labor time, how much time is that taking for each and every dishes, and also have a profitable selling price based on that. Okay, that is how you have to take. So example of a dokla, right? If we talk about 1 plate of dokla, should cost this the minimum this much, and okay, to make. Okay, so that is exactly whenever we are doing the product cost planning, you have to think about the different ingredients. In this example I'm talking about, this principle is same, but in this cooking example, this is what exactly we have to think about, right? So this is all about the product cost planning. Okay, so hope it is clear for everyone. Right. If it is clear, then you can say yes, it is clear, super clear. I see in the chat box, or if you're watching in the YouTube, you can write down in a comment that, yeah, I'm super clear about this. So we will be learning all of these things in detail, but for now, so we'll be first of all, let's understand what is there inside the box. Then we will be going here ahead with that. Okay. So this is actually COOM we'll talk about. COOM we talked about. That is all about here. Overhead cost controlling. Okay, overhead cost controlling is this is the module, this is the component we're talking about, right? So this is the first one, and this is the second one now we talked about, right? So now let's move ahead to because CO has 6 modules, 6 components. Okay. Now let's move to third component. What does it mean? So the third component is all about, typically you have cost object controlling, COPC OBJ. Okay, so what does it mean? We'll try to understand. So COPC OBJ, that is a cost object controlling. Okay, so how it will differ, we will try to understand here. COPC OBJ. Cost object controlling. Cost object controlling. So let's see, in this we'll try to understand what is the meaning of it and how it is different from a product cost planning, right? So let's try to understand that. So again, so if people are in cooking in their kitchen, and we can see that when the kitchen is busy, you may be having some planned cost, you may be also having the actual cost. Okay. So let's say you have planned already that 2 spoons of butter per plate. If you're having 100 plates, you need to require 200 spoons of butter in total. Okay. But what happens in actual, the chef used instead of 2 spoons, he used 3 spoons per plate. Okay. Then what will happen? Definitely it will go up. So instead of 200 spoons, it will go to 300 spoons in that case. Now that means the person has spent 50% more butter than the planned one. That means there came a variance. Okay. So this module or this component will catch up, okay, in the tracking how much gap. Okay. So that means if you should have used 200 spoons, but now I am using 300 spoons, right? So that means there's 100 spoons of difference. That's the variance. Okay. And it will catch the gap so that you can correct it before any next order if you're making, right? You have to ensure that everybody is aware of it when we're cooking in the kitchen. And the actual goal is to see actually how much butter you have planned, and okay, so that the chef is not accidentally using the vaccine more than that, whatever is required. Okay, so this is your live cooking track. Okay, so that is actually the analogy we're talking about. So I'll mention the analogy as well so that you can remember. Live cooking tracker. Okay, so this is what exactly we have seen, because this 6-component understanding is a little tricky, especially if you're not a background, if you're having a not having a background of a chartered accountancy or similar kind of a finance module, or completely you are into non-finance. Okay, this is the module for non-finance. Okay, the way we are teaching actually is for the non-finance people, okay, who are not having any background. So that for that reason, I just try to maximize the simplification. Okay, so now let's go to the next part, is the actual costing and material ledger, right? COPC SET. Okay, so this is the component. Okay, we talk about actual costing and material ledger. So actual costing and material ledger, what we see here in this particular topic, we'll try to understand the end of the reality check. So it happens that sometimes the oil price goes up, which happened recently. The gas actually in India, due to this geopolitical issues, the price of has already gone up. So the gas and all, if any vegetable price or anything is increasing your, so halfway through the month. Okay, so again, you're definitely in this example is definitely if you're talking South Indian meal, definitely the respective, okay, mills will be definitely cost will be more than whatever you expected, right? So what exactly this model does, actual costing and material, so it will do the kind of adjustment. So this will be helping you look at the real price you paid for the every ingredient for every end of the month, and also it will adjust your records accordingly. It will capture your actual prices, adjust your inventory valuation because you also have inventory. It will check your true actual cost and also check your profit reports. Okay, and it also tell you that how much that summer really cost to make, including all price changes. That is actually end goal. That means even if there is prices going up and down in those cases also, you can ensure those are taken care of. Okay, so you can track the reality. That is why we just want to end up the reality check. Okay, so this is the actual costing and material ledger. Okay, this model we're talking about. So this is, we call it as the end of the day reality check. Okay, so that is the in this scenario. So this is the thing. Okay, so now moving on to the next part. The next part we were talking about here is another component of CO is the profit center accounting. Okay, ACPCA. So profit center accounting. So what we will be seeing here, let's try to understand that component of CO. So what happens here in this profit center accounting? It is a scorecard. Okay, that means which floor is winning. You might be having a SE hall, you might be having a garden sitting, or you might be having a takeaway counter, right? So like Swiggy, Zomato, and all of this, they take a small takeaway, or even if you're having a takeaway, right? So if you're having such a thing, so if you're using SE hall, definitely you'll be paying for extra charges for rent, your air conditioning, your premium furniture, whatever you're having, and to attract your different, clients and your typically families, you have to have that, right? But even if you're talking about the garden setting, it may be overhead is a little low, but there is a natural ambience. Okay, so there is also, they are popular in the weekends typically, and also the cost a little bit less. Okay, but is it generating more net profit, right? So those kind of calculation where exactly we'll be doing, right? So this is the module. Okay, if you're having a takeaway kind of, there is no minimal setting cost. There is also a high volume and also can have a low margin for that, right? And you can also compare with the dining and also other. Okay, so these are different factors you can see. Okay, so in the profit center accounting module, so in this particular component, what you will be seeing, you will be able to see, understand which floor is winning, which is actually you're having all this thing, right? So in this way, there are different modules, and this component will be taking care of that. Okay, so this module will be about that. And this is called as your ECPCA, Profit Center Accounting, and what we call it now in this the manager scorecard we call it, okay, which is okay, manager scorecard. Especially the more example is here. Also, we will see that the garden versus your what is that when SC hall, garden setting versus shade. So this is also you can relate to it. Okay, just to remember the example because it is easy to learn by example. Okay, whenever you're a beginner or if you do not have a background of finance at all. Okay, so this will be very helpful for you. Okay, garden setting versus your typically AC hall, right, or takeaway. Okay, so any of those examples. Okay, so this is the profit center accounting component. Okay, so now we will go to the next component, that is your typical example of it. Next one is your COPA, profitability analysis. This is a big picture strategy. Okay, so basically COPA model will talk about the profitability analysis. So I will go here, COPA. So this component will talk about overall profitability analysis. So it will talk about the profitability analysis here. Okay, so this module, what we will be seeing here is out of those different segment. Okay, you're having different kind of a customer segment definitely. So there are families who come together on Sunday, every Sunday, or come for a parathas on the weekend. They order more, they tip better. Those kind of a family. This is one category. Also, you're having a set of people for office workers. It could be school-going students. Okay, and I remember in my home city in Brahmapur, Odisha, people, especially in the morning, the breakfast starts at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I never seen in any other city in the other part of the world. So they actually go and pack. So people, the buses actually, the school bus comes around 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:30, 7 o'clock maximum. And they pack, they bring the tiffin. And if the mother has not prepared something, they will go to those center and they will be breakfast. They will pick up and pack it and take the bus for the schools. Okay, and this happens for the office worker also, same thing. So they buy idli in the Monday morning, or they do the quick order, or this kind of segment of people. Okay, and also there may be possibility that there are tourists. If you are in a tourist place, like we are in Gopalpur and Odisha, so or any other tourist place we're talking about, right? So weekends people come together and the average bill will be also a little higher. Okay, so on those cases, okay, but they come once, no repeat business. Okay, but office worker or school going students are repeat business, like every day they're coming. So that is how. And also I have seen also people get extra, retain the customer also, right? Okay. So in this profitability analysis, what we're talking about is here, which segment is actually having a more business, having more profit. Okay. So what they are doing actually, who is the, let's say, people are making more benefit out of the office workers or Sunday families. Okay, they usually give a discount for those people because they are the best customer. That the company, the restaurant is making more money out of them, right? And I remember I used to go a lot and earlier, and I used to pay for five five idlis, but they give me extra idlis like every time, right? Just make us happy, okay, to retain the customers, customer taxes anyway. So this is the module. We'll talk about the profitability analysis. So profitability analysis, okay, it will give a big picture, and the COPA module will be talking about that. Okay. So now this is the big picture strategy. We already talked about it. The big picture. Okay. So now what you will be seeing here is, I will slightly change this file here. Setting. Just a minute. Okay. So now coming here, the next part of it, which we talk about. Moving on. So just to summarize whatever we have seen, the sixth part of it. Okay. So like COOM we talked about, it is all about your shared bills, like who is paying for the electricity and rent. That is your first thing we have studied, COOM. That is your first one. Overhead cost controlling we talked about, right? So that who pays the bill or the shared bills. Okay, so that is actually the concept here. So I will make a note of it. the mind map. And if you're watching still till the end, you can get this mind map from that side. Okay. So now let's go on. The PCP is all about the recipe price track we talked about already. Because this principle, if once you understand, it is applicable for any module, means any product if you're talking about, right? The concept remains the same, but the way of working will be slightly different. But the overall concept will remain the same. The 6 components we have here in the CO, right? So this is the 6 components which we talked about. Okay. Now let's move on. So to summarize, who is paying for the electricity and rent? Overhead, that is your the COM module. Then product cost planning, what's it cost to make to one petrol Dhokla? Okay, then we have how much did we make just to big wedding order? So that is a live booking tracker, which you already talked about, right? Cost object controlling. Okay, object controlling. Then we have actual costing and material ledger. That's the end of the day reality check. We already talked. So this is a summary part of it. Anyway, you'll be getting this slides. Okay, if you are already joining till the end of the session. The next one is your, this is actually we summarize the FICO model. We are just trying to, two sides of one coin. This is a kind of FI and CO. FI stands for finance. Then accounting, CO stands for all kind of controlling. Did I make more profit from Chole Bhature or Idli Sambar? That is the controlling, internal decisions. Okay. FI is all about external reporting. Okay. It's all about for your bank manager that you have made 50,000 profit. Okay. And all kind of legal compliance so that bank will trust you. Okay. That is financial accounting. And CO is all about internal decisions. Okay. How much money I made, whether it's selling idli sambar or chole bhature, right? That is the CO, okay? But FICO is all about your one data entry. Whenever customer is paying 100 rupees for paratha, it updates FI and CO both at the time. It's not like that separation. That is what exactly the FI CO means here, okay? So SF FICO, the two sides of the one coin. Now let's move on to the next part. So as I said already, and they are the best friends, and one data entry rule, and for when a customer is paying 100 rupees for paratha. If I were you updating your bank balance, you will be talking about the paratha section that you just unwind. Okay, both happen at the same time. Okay, and when it comes to the DNA part of it, as for HANA nowadays is having that if a cost shows of your official tax report in FI, it must also show up somewhere in the strategic CO also, so that you can explain why you spent it, right? So in what happens is for HANA, this universal journal, SC, VCO, CA finally merged these two notebooks into a single source of truth. Okay, that is what exactly happened in S4 HANA. And if you have not seen it, so we will not be going today about the configuration side of it, but so this is what exactly from a SAP point of view, we have a financial accounting here, this entire sections with the big picture I'm showing. I'm not going into detail about it. The detail section will be doing the boot camps and hackathons, people who are already part of the community, and they will be going to participating those because this is a awareness sessions. So we will be just showing you that this is the finance entire thing. This controlling comes under all the 6 things what we talked about already, right? Your product cost controlling, we talked about profit center accounting, profitability analysis. So all these things will be here. Okay, so we are not going detail about it now. Okay, but we have all the details in the upcoming days, in our upcoming hackathons and boot camps, which I will talk about at a point of time. Okay, so this is what exactly, this is my S4 HANA system, which I have shown you. Okay, the glimpse of that. So this is how it looks like in FI and CO. So now coming together, the bullet point. So this is the 6 things I have already covered. Okay, so I will not be going to repeat. Okay, so this is what we have understood from the Desi Buffet quick reference guide, right? Hope you enjoyed the entire thing, and my appetite has already increased. So let's now go to the big questions. Okay, so this CO actually, whatever you talked about, this will be again the same thing. Some frequently asked questions. How do you reduce your overhead cost? What kind of a business question it can answer? What cost occur within your organization? Then which module? So you must be knowing which component of FICO. In CO module, it will be answering. What are your manufacturing cost of a product? Okay. So whether it's a this, today we talked about the food business. Maybe it could be anything. It could be retail, it could be energy utilities, it could be government, public sector, it could be anything, any other industries, banking, finance, insurance, it could be any other industry, right? But how profitable you're making individual segment or how profitable you're making individual enterprises. So that is actually those big questions we can answer. Okay. So no worries, I have already prepared some notes. So these notes definitely will be part of our platform. So whatever we discuss in presentation. So already we have this you will be finding, okay, this entire thing, summary table, everything, whatever we're discussing as a notes, you'll be getting in our upcoming in the part of the platform. And so far we have covered this much. Okay, so FAQ part of it. Okay, so now whatever we have understood based on this, so we already talked about this topic part. Okay, so now let's go to the next part of it. Now we will be going deep dive into COM. Okay, so basically whenever you're having the overhead cost, right? So basically there could be a lot of hidden cost. Okay. If you're running typically a restaurant, you must be showing how much a samosa cost, how much the cleaning, if you're talking about cleaning, how much each and every cleaning chemical cost, okay? Your music playing in the lobby or your accountant's salary. These are all typical overhead cost. Okay. And this will be definitely your cost until we give you the shine a light on this hidden expenses. What are the different expenses you're having it? That is what exactly we will try to understand here in this particular component. So this is already I've talked about. So there are different categories of cost element. Okay. And there is also revenue element, and FICO is like a bridge between these two, right? So what is your cost and what is your revenue, right? So revenue means you're selling a thali, you're selling a dosa, selling a lassi, whatever. Every rupee you earn in this in a proper category, right? Wherever it's a cost point of view, you're paying the chef, you're paying all the labor cost, and you are having your flour, oil, and spices, the food cost. There are different cost elements, categories of it, right? So these are the different cost element accounting we are talking about here. So I think this is not we've discussed, but this is also there. Okay, so if we talk about this, so under cost, you will be having this cost element accounting. Then we have also product cost controlling. So what is the meaning of it? So this will be actually kind of an estimate. Okay, like you talk about the menu, right? The estimate if you're talking about, right? How much it costs to make a pav bhaji? If you're talking about the ingredient plus, you're actually tracking the same thing. Okay, how much did it actually cost? Okay, when you add extra butter and all these things. So actually, and also doing an analysis part. So this entire thing will be part of the product cost controlling. Okay, so this is your typical product cost controlling, the example point of view. Now, profitability analysis, this is already we talked about the COPA, right? So this is actually a typical COPA model, okay, the market strategy and all of this thing. So this is your checklist. So all those things which you've already covered, those things, okay. And I think this is good. Already this is what we talked about. Kitchen station, front desk, building, cleaning team, okay. All these things, expense, choose, yeah, all these things we already talked about. Now coming to the cost center, you must have seen that whenever you're going for a cost center, you will be having a standard hierarchy. So what is the meaning of hierarchy in a cost center? Right? So typically, you don't actually, when you have a cost, any other cost happening, the actual requirement for anything is to implement a cost center. You have to have the standard hierarchy of it. Okay. So hierarchy in this, or the food example can be here, the entire restaurant, if you're having the entire restaurant is the top level, but you may be having a North Indian branch. Okay. In North Indian branch, you're having a paratha station, chole bhature station. If you're talking about South Indian branch, if you're having a dosa station, idli station, like that. If you're talking about supporting services, you may be having supporting staff for front desk, supporting staff for the cleaning team, right? Those are also a cost, right? So that is what exactly we're talking about. When it comes to the hierarchy, this is what exactly the standard hierarchy moves. Just like in organization, we also have organizational structure. They have also hierarchy. Okay, similarly, the cost center also, they will be having their typical standard hierarchy. Okay, so that is what exactly the meaning of your hierarchy. So whenever designing a cost center also, it is also you have to be very strategic. You have to have you will be having functional, you have to be functional means it could be kitchen, service, cleaning, management. Okay, these are very common if you're talking about the restaurant business we're talking about, right? From a geography point of view, like it could be a Mumbai, Delhi, South Chennai, Bangalore, all those branches, or if you're talking outside India also, those respective geography branches. Then another category can be your activity or service oriented, whether it's a catering service or a delivery service or a dining service, all those are taken care of. So those are your different activity and oriented service. Now comes your area of responsibility. So like depending upon who is accountable, whether it is a pure manager domain or an owner's domain or a head sales domain. So based on that, you will be talking about a different cost center design. So whenever designing a cost center, right? So you will be having considering all these factors in a way, right? So that is what exactly you have to understand in this. Now, another concept we have to understand, this is the concept of say internal order. Okay. So internal order is very special. Okay. And it is a kind of a special project diary for you. Okay. What does it mean? So let's say what happens, your permanent stations, you must be having a permanent station, say dosa counter. It's very common every day. Dosa, idli, Okay, all these things. But what happens sometimes? What happens? Some special order came in. Okay, a special project, special catering is happening. So due to somebody's birthday party or maybe farewell party, something like that. Okay, and you have to take that task, take that project, okay, for that specific event. Okay. So what happens? Internal order will be something, it is pretty much that kind of a controlling tool, CO tool. It can be used any kind of variety of purposes to track all those costs. Okay. And it will be able to do that. Maybe an example can be, so there can be 4 different types here again. It could be overhead orders. So somebody actually you are having a special monsoon. Now it is a summer season, but here in India. But if let's talk about, let's say we're in August month of, imagine you are actually time forward and you're going to month of August like that. Okay. And there's a monsoon season and July, August in India, and you're having a special Pakoda festival in your society, right? And you're ordering something, right? So those can go for overhead because that doesn't happen every day, right? Similarly, if you're having an investment order, that means you're building something like you're having a tandoori oven in your backyard, in your kitchen, right? That is an investment for you, okay? Or maybe if you're having a bonuses, but you are actually breaking that bonuses into small components every month, so that actually smoothing out that accrual order. So you're having a separate deposit for that, okay, or investment for that, right? That is a kind of another order. Similarly, can be also with you're having also some house party and you're catering to that, those kind of hustles in your organizations, you're having your hotel, your restaurant, you're having it, right? Those kind of orders is revenue. Okay, that is actually, these are the different categories of your typically internal orders. Those are kind of not like an actual permanent station, which is a cost center, but these are kind of an internal order. If a specific purpose, you can having it for that. Okay, it can be used exclusively for different purposes for tracking the cost. Okay. So the first type, as I talked about the monsoon festival, monsoon Pakoda festival, what happens is here, what extra you will be tracking, okay? Like, let's say you're tracking the society that you have invited these people and you have conducted this special event diary for it. So what exactly you're tracking? You'll be tracking any kind of extra oil you purchased, you have any specific, even music performance happened during that evening, okay? Or any extra stuff you have brought into that event, any kind of special packaging you have done, or any kind of decorations you have done it, right? So those kind of extra will be, definitely it will be a cost for you. Okay. Now, after the festival is over, after the Monsoon Pakoda festival is over, you would also check that is it worth of that extra money, whatever the event you conducted, right? Was it profitable or not? So this kind of an internal order, okay, it is overhead order, right? It will be helping you to track. Okay, so this is your one type of internal order. We call it overhead order. Okay, because we have already not planned for that on your regular planning of a quarter or month, right? This is an extra thing your restaurant is offering. Okay. The second type of internal order we try to understand is the investment order. Okay, so let's say you have got some specifically order. So here exactly you're ordering, you're building something new. Okay, so in your restaurant, it is, so you're investing in a tandoor oven. You didn't have that, and you are planning for a brand new tandoor oven. Okay, and let's say it takes around 3 weeks. Okay, you have to buy your all the cost like bricks, clay, everything. You're hiring a machine. Okay, then at the point of in the week one itself, you'll be opening an internal order for that, and you track everything, whatever cost. It will not go to your cost center directly. It will be like your internal order. Okay, so in that way, you will be tracking that cost for that. And also you're tracking your material wages, material cost, okay, construction work. And finally, in the week 3, you have installed iron lead and finishing all the work you've done. So all the cost will be going to your accumulated to your internal order. And in the final week, you are closing the diary entire thing. And you move total cost into into the official list of restaurant account. That is a fixed cost, fixed asset actually. Okay. So this is your internal order type 2. That is your investment order. So actually it's an investment. Definitely you'll be making money out of it, right? Definitely in the future. But it is an initial investment which you have done it. That is an internal order type 2. Okay. So now coming to the next part, the type 3 and type 4, it is like an accrual order. Accrual order is like a, you know that you will be paying bonus to your staff in the festival season, like Diwali, Dasara, or something like that in your other occasion in other geographies, right? So what happens is, so whenever you are paying a big bonus to your staff, instead of paying everything surprises, rather you will be, so let's say you are having a put little bit of amount of that cost into books, right? That every single month you're actually accruing that. Okay, so that there is no surprise at the end of the year during the bonus payout, right? So if imagine there's a 12,000 annual bonus for your staff, and for some of those staff, then you are actually accruing 1,000 per month per person, right? So that actually this profit looks more realistic. Okay, otherwise you're paying one and all the bonuses in 1 month. Okay, and if you're counting that month itself, it will loss for you for that. Maybe you are not a loss. I will be saying that it will be little parity will not be there, right? So that is your internal order type 3. Type 3 is all about your accrual order, right? Then we have orders with a revenue. Okay, so this is actually like a side hustle. Okay, and let's say neighbor is asking for you to cater some local party and some dhokla and all these things, right? And again, you are tracking everything. Okay, so this is your type 4. Okay, so like you have to check what is the money you have spent, what are the ingredients, what your neighbor have paid, what exactly profit you have made from that, right? So those are the different kinds of internal order we have seen. Okay, so this is what exactly and the 4 types of order what we have seen. Now we try to understand the difference between these two. Okay, the cost center is always existent, right? In the typical thing. You're tracking every day, no end date, permanent, organization unit kind of stuff. And it's a kind of kitchen station example. But internal order is a temporary. It doesn't happen every day. Okay. Rather, it has a start and end date, typically. And it has a specific mission for that when you complete it. Okay. It's like a catering job or wedding catering job, whatever. Okay, special thing. So this is a permanent, this is one is a special thing. Okay, so this is a very simple difference of between these two. Okay, and cost center is like a typical your every kitchen if you're talking about, and your typical is always there. But tracking daily cost centers, but internal internal order is like a wedding catering. Yes, that is what exactly we talk about here. Okay. So I think this is the part of it. Now, the moving on to the next part of it, we try to understand. Another concept we'll be learning is the ABC. Okay, activity-based costing. Okay, so cost center internal order, then your activity cost-based costing. Okay, so actually what happens is in cost center accounting, when we're talking about, it will talk about where exactly the money went. The money spent was in which area. Let's say the money was spent in the kitchen or not the cleaning, right? So let's say, but activity-based costing, ABC will be asking why. Okay. It will say that the money was spent because we are preparing for the 8 o'clock in the morning, the breakfast crowd. We are serving for breakfast, right? So that is your activity-based costing. Okay, so instead of it is more process-oriented. Okay, and where the money is spent, that's a cost center. But activity-based costing will be explained why the money was spent for that purpose, right? That is your typically ABC, activity-based costing. Right. So typically, it is, as I said, it is more of a process view. Okay, and it will be, so we can see the example, it's more focused on business process and all, instead of looking at your stations or organ, right? And traditionally, you can say that, let's say, electricity bill, okay? You cannot divide it between idli, dosa, and paratha station because the dosa station uses a lot of use electric griddle all the day. But idli station will take very small time as a steamer within an hour. Okay, but is it fair to charge them for the same? Not. Okay, for that reason, we do it like ABC way, the process viewpoint of view. So let's say we're preparing for the morning rush, all breakfast, cleaning, okay, kitchen team, that purchasing team, they're bringing the fresh milk, okay, all those people have from different cost center, but they're looking together for one purpose, right? Even if they are from different sections. Okay. So that is what exactly we have to understand the ABC way of costing. So now, in a typical buffet, how does it actually flow? Right. So your typical resources point of it goes to processes and allocate to process, and actually the cost will be allocated. Process will be allocated to cost object. Okay. And if the cost doesn't fit a specific plate of food, it gets passed to a profitability. So already we talked about the COPA model. Okay, the COPA. So this will be giving you realize that okay, even if the dhokla is cheap to make, why the process of cleaning up after making it is very expensive, right? So you will be learning that those things here. Okay, so this is a typically ABC analysis of a dhokla, right? So ingredients are cheap, okay, but the process is expensive, okay, because you have to the preparation time, you need a skill level, the fermentation process, require temperature control. That process itself is expensive, right? So whenever doing this kind of a calculation, especially for a dhokla, okay, my Gujarati friends will be there. Definitely they will be happy. So we'll talk about seeing this. And the real margin, I also love dhokla, by the way. When I was in Ahmedabad, I used to take a lot. Okay, so the real margin shrinks dramatically, and this entire, although the ingredients are cheap, but the process is very expensive. But it was a true effort, so that this is the thing here we are saying. Okay, I think this is what exactly we thought of. So whatever we have covered so far, this is actually for everyone, and we talked about, as I say, just to summarize, initial part we talked about specifically the two notebooks, FI and CO. Then we talked about typically cost center elements. Then we talked about the different responsibilities and all. And then if you're talking about any special project or hidden cost for the internal order and overhead, we talked about, right? This in detail we talked about in today's session. And then we also talk about the math of the menu. That is your product costing as well as your ABC costing. Okay. So that is your, okay, what is your Italy cost, but actually what is actual cost, right? So that is actually, so let's say plan cost is your 12 per plate, but actual cost is the extra chutney. So this 6 rupees of variance. Okay. That also we talked about. And in activity to cost, we talked about typically where is the cost and why did it happen. So this is also we covered here. Okay. Now also we talked about the profitability and the market analysis part of it. So my takeaway, especially from a founder, or as I can think of any of the, if you're actually looking at a strategic point of view, if you're an architect, right, this is very important for you. So all these individual modules are very good. Okay, you're looking at them separately. It's okay, but to run a buffet as a founder, or if you are a founder entrepreneur, or if you're having your business owner, right, you have to think holistic. You have to think like a CEO here. Okay, and here what happens is the entire, and how every station, how they're coordinated, how they're supporting each other, right? This entire integrated system, you have to think about it. Okay, so whatever those things or phases we have seen it. So actually we are doing entire thing. So entire profitability, market analysis, all kind of okay. That is what exactly you have to do. So that is actually the thing I would like to understand. I would like to explain here. So to understand this part of it carefully. And what we have understood is this is actually the overall webinar. In today's webinar, we have talked about. Okay. So now we have understood the entire thing, right? And now we will be switching our gear to the next part of the webinar. Okay, so if you have any queries till the end, so what we have is people who are already there till this time. I appreciate your effort, appreciate your time. And what we will be talking about now, the second part of it we'll be talking about here today is the PCF. What is the PCF? Second part is the PCF, what we talked about here, process categories. Okay, so whatever we have talked about today, the first part is all about the different components of the modules and all. But when it comes to the processes, there is a standard framework, okay, APQC framework, which is widely used. Okay, so it is not only for finance, but for every business services or every functions, it caters to that. Now, based on that framework, that APQC framework, even if you search APQC, you will be finding details about it. APQC, okay, so framework, okay, and you can download it also. It's publicly available by the way. Yes, and the process classification framework. PCF stands for process classification framework. Okay, if you go inside it, those are publicly available document you'll be finding. Okay, and there's so many other framework also. I'm not saying which framework is good or better or best, but this has been developed for a long time, since 1990s, and this is pretty much every year they actually ideally they keep on updating this thing. So we are following it. Even SAP also follows that. I have seen they have their own version, but actually they are taken inspiration from this. Okay, so this is something I will highly recommend to download, make a download of it. And what I have done is I have made a little web application out of it. Okay, and this is the PCF Explorer. We have used it and developed an app for it. So we can see that there are different. There are, as per that, 13 process groups that have been divided. So how they are divided, we will see that. So first of all, we have process groups. We have processes. Under that, we have activities. Under that, we have tasks. Okay. So we can see that vision and strategy. For any organization, if we talk about, right, without vision and strategy, we will not work, right? So they will be having at the top, we will be having a vision and strategy. Then they will be having business concept, long-term vision, business strategy, measure strategic initiatives, maintain business models. These are at level 2, right? So again, under that, we will be having level 3 and level 4, whatever is required, right? So in this way, so we will not go into this part. This part we'll be talking about in our business transformation session. Okay, so which happens in every Saturday. 8 p.m. IST. And today we'll be focusing on the financial resources. So this is the number 9. Okay. And we have HR, we have a supply chain, we have a service delivery, we have a customer service, market and sell product services, managing product and services, managing the risk. Okay. We have managing business capabilities, asset management, a lot of things are here. Okay. Whatever is applicable for your organization, you can think about it, right? So today's session is focused on the financial resources. We'll talk about this first. So here in the financial resources, at the top, you will see the managed financial resources. That is a category. Okay, this is a category, finance is a category. And under that, we do have 11 process groups. Okay, so you will be seeing these are different process groups. Okay, and process group, and under that, we will be having process. Under that, we will be having L4 is an activity, L5 will be a task. Okay, so if we talk about here, process group, we will be having performing planning and management accounting part of it, right? So if you see here, okay, this is your typically process group. And if you talk about here, this is the level 2 process you will be having. It determining different stages of the planning process, determining, analyzing, interpreting, communication, operating business decisions, and under that, what are the things activity you're doing. So this is your first in your level 2 process group, performing planning and all. So I will be logging in, let me say. So let me edit it. Suppose if I want to add, I can add also something here. Okay, so you can see that performing planning and management accounting, right? So today's example, if we talk about, right, let's say the buffet example, right? So let me check. So we will be using here AI a little bit. So in a buffet example, what are the possibilities are there for this and to processes, right? What are the possibilities are there? Okay. So for a buffet example, okay, so for the, let's say, given explain give an example, I will say. Give an example. Give an example of all L3, L2, L3. Let's say, so let's say first focus on first category. L1 is a category managed financial resource, and the L2 is your process group. Okay. Give an example of example of your, let's say, development man. So all the L3 processes, all L3 processes under 9.1. I will better use a number. It is easy. Okay. So process under 9.1 for a food business. Okay, so let's capture this example. We'll try to understand this very carefully today. So this is a good example. We have got it. So what they are talking about this here, 9.1.1. Okay, this is the one. It is all about the strategy, developing and managing the financial resources strategy. 9.1.2 is all about the performance planning, budgeting, and forecasting. Okay, so that is the thing which we are doing here, right? So 9.1.2 is all about the strategy. So budgeting part of it, right? And then we're not going to L4 now. Okay, so how the L4 is done. Now next one will be going for the L3 process. So L3 process is about performing cost accounting and control. That's all about the cost accounting, right? All kind of ingredient tracking if you talk about it, right? And the next one is your cost management. Okay, performing cost management, that is the level 4, 9.1.4. Okay, and level 3, by the way, process level. Okay, but here we are talking about different activities. Okay, so here we are talking about it. Here is the cost management. So cost management is your vendor and co-waste control. Okay, so whatever you are seeing here, it is all about the vendor management and waste control, and that is a 9.1.4. Okay, so then here 9.1.5. So here we are talking about evaluating and managing the financial performance, right? This is all about the profitability analysis, whatever already we have talked about, right? So this is what exactly here we are explaining. This is for a food business. We try to understand these are the different L3 process. Okay, L4 we are not going now. L4 we will be going, keep it till the boot camp. So all the L4 we will be learning the bootcamp and hackathons and all. But at this webinars and all, we will be focusing till L3 only. And L2 and L3 we'll talk about. Okay. So this is what exactly we are having it here in this particular process, right? So now what I will do, okay. So now this is something we try to understand. Okay. So let's say it could be any food business. Okay. So how we can apply this to a food business? Okay, I have seen this is a people struggle whenever they're doing this kind of a mapping and all of these things. But it is better to do not reinvent the wheel, rather follow a standard templates. Okay, maybe slightly you can tweak it up to your extent, but do not tweak it too much. Okay, over tweaking is not required. Okay, so what we'll be talking about here, cost recovery. So you can see how simplified the thing. Okay, the 5 things we're studying under in this particular process group: performing, planning, and management accounting. Okay. So performing, maybe I can ask another question here. This is the what? Revenue accounting, general accounting, managed fixed. Okay. So this is okay. So now what we will do, there are so many things here. Okay. So we will be capturing this notes here. Okay. So it's the entire notes from here, it's entire. And we will be capturing here in our section. So we will go to here in this particular admin section, level 3. And we will try to add it here. Okay, so here, what I will do for this process, so you will be capturing this anyway, I will be capturing this notes for all of you. So I will be capturing it in our Notion. Okay. So that you're understanding the process in detail, because process understanding is very, very important. Now, actually, whatever you're understanding, this is a purely process-oriented thing. Okay, so this is anyway, I will be sharing these notes. So from today's episode, the lizard and the kitchen. Okay, so this is at the end, we will be talking about this part of it. So I know there are a lot of things we've covered. Okay, so second part of it, what we're talking about here is this part. Okay, so we will now go into the PCF category. So here, this is the name of the topic. If I go here, so PCF, process framework, right? So here what we see is, let me bring in that. So this is the app, and we will be doing a process exercise. So inside the process track, we will be seeing that we'll be capturing this for a restaurant business, the APQC framework in finance. Okay. So this is the first part we have understood, that this is how it looks like for a food business. We are utilizing the same thing here. Just I'm updating the thing in the page. So in this process framework, which we are seeing here, so we will be utilizing this page for our note making as well. And people were asking which notes knowledge management tool I'm using. I'm using Notion for that matter. It is free of course, but I'm using premium version because it has been integrated with all of my AI tools. Okay, in the backend. Okay. So like Claude, Perplexity or ChatGPT, everything is connected. It has its also your own AI as well. So we will be checking in. So one of those things, this is the one we will be checking in. So that's this one we check. So this is your at a process level, whenever we are going through this particular case study we're talking about, right? So this APQC framework, this is the 9.1 and everything we're talking about. At the end, we are having a proper L3 process understanding, right? So expansion and funding, what is the focus area for each and every process area? You can see that. Okay. So this is a level 3 process. Okay. So now moving on to our process framework here. So process framework, if I go back. So this is our 9.1. Okay, so the 9.1, or I will say that 9.1 can give a simple term. Okay, so can you give one word term for all process? I know it is a little difficult. Okay, the name of it. Usually process groups and all this technical, it starts the verb. You can see the action verb, manage, perform, develop, right? That's okay. But from our understanding, QK, for all the process group, L2 process groups, 9.1, two part we have is we have till 9.11, 9.11 to 9.11. Just let's see if it can do that. Okay, one word term is all about this. Okay, you can, so this is a UG, very much easy to remember. Okay, so I will copy this from here and I will also update in our notes. Okay, so the level one, what we see here is this one. Level one. Okay, so this is our level one. One word term for each and every process group. Okay, so the process name is what? The process is actually the finance management. Okay, and same thing goes here. If I talk about here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so definitely we'll be utilizing it in our typically in this case, planning, revenue, accounting, assets, payroll, payables, treasury, controls, taxes, consolidation, and trade. Right, the level terms for this level process groups. Okay, so this is what we have understood. Now coming to the level 2 also, now we would be having a similar terms. Okay, so level 2 now under 9.1 to 9.11. So if you talk about, I think how many counts we will be having. So revenue accounting will be having again, I think on an average they're having 4-5 only. Let's see that. 4-5 only, I think. Okay, so or less. Okay, the payroll we are having here reporting, report timing, managing pay. So in many of the organizations, I have seen payroll comes under HR. Okay, but APQC keeps it under finance. That's okay. Okay, it also depends upon your organization culture, organization strategy, all of things. Okay, but I can see that more or less 5-6 only we are having. Treasury is actually having 6. Okay, and we have an internal control, have a 3. Managing a taxes, so this is a 2. Your typically international funds and consolidation, this is 4. And process group you are having, this is having 7 other. Okay, so this is having many. Okay, so I think this one is having a little lengthy. 10 we are having. Okay, so now also I will be asking that under 9.1 to 9.11, keep it all L3. These are all L3 also a single word and map them in a table or Notion. So it'll be easy for you to understand if you make it a one word, single word, right? It'll be easy to, also from a understanding point of view, it'll be so easy. Okay, so like we talked about, right? Planning. Okay, then under that planning, we are having this is a level actually. It's strategy, forecasting, costing, management, evaluation, like this, right? So these are the things we have received. Okay, so now almost we are ready. So trade, customs, compliances. I think they have not gone detail in the way. Okay, I see that they left something. 9.11.1 they talked about it. So they have a compliance, it's documentations. Okay, so you have to ask one by one. Okay, so automatically cover and let's see that. Okay, copy the table and into an active database. Okay, so we'll try to copy it. let me go to the Notion here. And in this, we will try to manage it here directly. So this is a typical, but I see that it has not covered everything. Okay. So because there are certain things it has skipped because I think maybe due to length or like that. So maybe we will do that. So at least we understood that this is what exactly we have. Okay. And the L1 is here we have, as we understood. L1 is your finance. Okay, managing finance, that is an L1. And if you go to the APQC standard, you are having manage financial resources, managing financial resources. So I will be adding a column here. Okay, it has added a So this is the one. Turn into a database. So I will be converting into a database. Now in the database, I will say that manage finance. Manage finance. Financial resources. That is our level 1 category. Then we have L2, L3, all whatever we are having it. Okay. So now what we will do here is insert that. So here we will be adding up. This is our level 1 anyway. It is same for all. So I'm not going to add it. That's okay. This is the level 1. We will be writing here is a level 1. And this is, we call it a 9th as for the APQC standard. This is our 9th category. Right. So category 9. So now we have, this is your L2 group. L2 is called what? This is called your process group. Okay. So L2 is known here as your process group. And this is your L2 process level. But we have given a name, alias name. Okay, L2 process level or alias name which we have given. So in this, what we see here is L2 group, and inside that we have this. So the planning module, especially what we will be talking about today. So the planning part here is here. Okay, this is our performing planning and management accounting, what we have studied now. Okay, perform planning and what we have here, this one, this entire thing, right? So we'll quickly update this here in our Notion for our reference. Then in the upcoming days, when we go to the module by module understanding, we will be following a process-driven approach, okay, for a better understanding of it. This is our level 2, performing planning and management accounting here, right? So the next one, as I said, this is what we have here. Performing revenue accounting. That is your second one, 9.2. So we'll quickly do this activity. You can do this with me, or otherwise you can, after the session, you can get it from my side. And you will be having this, people who are already having an access to the platform, will be having this in our learning platform. Okay. So this is the performing revenue accounting. This is the 9.2. And the 9.3 is this one, or typically general accounting and reporting, all about the accounting module, what we have studied. Now, what we will be doing at the end, we will be doing an AI exercise for SAP specific module, Odoo, and let's say Workday. Okay, those modules we'll be talking about. So 9.3, here the actual name is here, this one. Perform general accounting and reporting. Right? This is the 9.3. Then we have what? We have managing fixed asset project accounting, 9.4. Fixed asset project accounting. Then next is your processing payroll, 9.5. This is the exercise we're doing here. Process payroll. Then we have the next processes here. We have this one. Process payroll has a three-part: reporting time, managing pay, managing process and payroll taxes. Then your process accounts payable and expense reimbursement. That is the 9.6. Okay. Then the next one is a treasury. Okay. So this is here. Managing the treasury operations. Then 9.8 is your this one. Managing internal controls. Managing internal control is this one. We will go here. Managing internal controls. Now we will be going to the next part. Managing taxes. Then next is your manage international funds and consolidation. Then next one, the last one, the trading. So performing global trade services. Perform global trade services. Yeah, this one. So there is a reason behind why we are doing it in Notion. So you will discover that in the upcoming sessions. So stay tuned and join the hackathons boot camps by subscribing to our platform. It is small memberships, and you'll be getting the details in our link in this video. Performing global trade services. These are the 11 things we are having now. Now, if you go ahead with 9 point, this is your typically column 2, but this is the alias name we have given. Okay, so you'll be having an actual name as well for the L3 process. So this is L3 process. Then we have your, maybe we will be having another column here. I will try to add a column. This will allow you. Insert right a column. So you'll be adding any column here. So what we are having is, this is your L3 process, L3 level, right? So level is understandable. So level 3 is actually here alias name, but which the name which we have given here. Okay. So that this is your L2 is your process group level. Okay, not a process level. This is a process group. And this is your level 3. Level 3 is your process level. L3 process, and this is your L3 process level. This is your L2 process group. L2 process group level. It's already defined here anyway. But L3 process and L3 process level. What are the alias name we have given? Single word, which is not as for the APQC, but we have given our custom name. So here, if you maintain here, so this is the process level alias. Okay. So now what we will be having here, anyway, this is a task for all of you. This is available, this APQC framework is already publicly available. You can think about it, okay, and you can update all of these things at your own time, okay, and you can explore this. Also, the web app is already publicly available. You cannot edit it, okay, but at least you can explore all of this thing, okay. So this is what exactly I'm expecting, okay, and this is a tool which we have developed based on the standard APQC framework to make you understand. But if you're already having a tool like your SAP Signa View, or your tool having something Aries, okay, you can maintain all of these things in a better way. Okay, so I'm using vibe coding for this, and I have developed this app, and where actually we maintain all of these things. Okay, so it is pretty much doable also outside. Okay, so now what we will be doing, each and every processes we will be trying to understand, okay, the level 3 processes. So perform global trade services. So here it is having how many? 10. Okay. So this all the 10 we will be capturing here, all the 9.1. All 10 LP processes and explain them in the context of food business, Indian breakfast. I'm very specific, by the way. Food business globally, right? So let's see. 9.1.1. Okay, so same thing. This is a prompt actually I am using. So I will be giving you the prompt also, so that you know whenever you're doing these activities, the codex which I'm giving you, so here I will be giving the codex, the properties I will be adding here as a, this is a kind of a text we'll be utilizing here. This is a codex. It's nothing but a React prompt, by the way. Okay, so here what I will tell, the codex is here. This is the codex for you. Under 9.91, list down all the 10 PL processes and explain them in the context of, I have given an industry. This is industry or sector, right? So here I will tell that sector, this is the food industry you have given, industry. If you're particular about the geography, you can also do that. Okay, but it's okay. Okay, example, sector industry example. So this is a prompt only. I will not be adding anything there. So I will keep it simple. And but in the while utilizing this, okay, I will be doing this an activity both in that tool as well as this. Okay, so Control X. So this is the codex or the AI prompt, you can say. Okay, we will utilize it. And what we will be doing here is we will try to understand this process at this level. Okay, Indian breakfast food business, very specific niche. Okay, this is a, I will also talk about it. So GICS sector has a 10, 11 sector. Okay, so global industry, you know, all this sector, what they have divided. Okay, so mention it. So this is what exactly we have to give a prompt here. Okay, mention. Okay, so I will little tweak it here. Copy this prompt and I will be utilizing here. Rather, I will be utilizing here the AI, the Notion AI I'm using here. And here I will tell that in sector, mention 11 GICS sectors and create 11 Notion pages based on that age 11 case studies for 9-point understanding 9.11. Okay, so this is what exactly we're doing. Let's see. So meanwhile, it will be doing the crafting here for us. And meanwhile, we will see that other things as well. So in the context of 9.11, okay, we are seeing that for each and everything, they're having a one-word term. And also they are having Indian breakfast business context. They are given global. Checking international databases to ensure your foreign distributors or spice suppliers are not sanctioned party list before shipping. There's a screening part of it. Then control part of it. There's a classification part of it happens, HS code, serial-based breakfast. Okay. Similarly, conversion. So you will be calculations of your typically all kind of, you have dollar to euro, euro to Indian customers for custom valuation invoicing. And then you have your duty charges, custom duty charges, okay, to clear frozen parathas through US and UK ports, communications, okay. There are documentation, there are preferences, restitution, handling claim, okay, like the RODTP scheme. This I'm not aware of, by the way. So there are certain schemes that they are funding and all. Managing the letters of credit. Okay, there's so many things you can see that. Okay. So what we are doing is the sort name property is there. So definitely what we will be doing here to guarantee payment once the shipment of Italy batter reaches their warehouse. Okay, that is okay. So this is in detail part of it. So this is the 10 thing we have. Okay. So meanwhile, we will see if it is ready for us. The 11 GICS sectors are still it is doing that activity. So in this way, you can leverage AI, you can leverage typically. Okay, so this is the case study I think it has already created for us. This is for a case study for energy, I think, this industry. Okay, one by one, it is creating those pages for us. I understand. Okay, so this is, I think it will do it here already. Okay, so this is for energy, global trade transfers for energy case study. So you can be updating all of these things. Okay, so meanwhile, as a takeaway, I will say that. So these activities, so same thing what we can do, whatever we have seen it here for this particular processes, right? We will be repeating it for the remaining process meanwhile that is ready, right? So this was the 9.11 list. Okay, so these are the 10 different processes we have seen, right? So we will be repeating it for the other processes as well. The next one is your 9.10, 9.10. Okay, we will do that activity. Under 9.10, how many we have? Under 9.10, we have the 4 processes, right? Monitoring the international rates. This is all about the international funds and consolidations or international transactions, currency exposure, export reporting results. There are 4 processes. Okay, so there are 4 processes. Okay, and the process and explain them in the context of Indian breakfast food business. Lovely. So we were doing this activities. Hedging, reporting, okay, all the things we're talking about here, right? So rates, transactions, hedging, reporting, right? So now we will be doing the same thing for your 9.9. The 9.9, what? How many we are having it? We are having 2. developing tax strategy is all about the managing the taxes. Okay. So in the managing tax, we have two L3 processes. One is your developing a tax strategy and planning and processing your taxes. Okay. So at the detail level, we are not going L4, L definitely we'll keep it for our boot camps. Okay. And the hackathon, which we'll be doing. Okay. And I will be facilitating that very soon. And this is the what we have under 9.9. So similarly, we will be doing for the 9.8 as well. Under 9.8, how many we have? Under 9.8, we have 3. So there are 3 L3 processes. 3. And the previous one, what we have seen is the 9.9. We have already told you. Yeah, that is correct. 9.8 has 3. Okay. Similarly, we will proceed for the 9.7. And the 9.7, how many we have? We have 6. So this level of granularity is very, very essential. So whatever product you're working with, SAP, non-SAP, it doesn't matter. But you understand these principles, it will be helpful for your career. Forever, I would say. Okay. So these things are not going to change a lot and are evergreen. Maybe small additional may happen if it is required, but not too much, like a product changes. Innovation happens like that. So definitely, so this is your 9.7. Okay, so the 9.7 already we talked about. And then is your next is 9.6. 9.6 we have how many? 9.6 we have 3. Okay, the same 3 number there also. Then 9.5. 9.5 is the payroll process. People who are coming from HR, success factor, SAP has CM, workday, payroll. So we can relate to it. This is your payroll processes. So here payroll processes is the 9.5. It is listing around 3 processes. Okay, so 9.6 is having how many? 3. And this one is also having 3. 9.5 is having 3. Now the next one is your 9.4. Okay. So the 9.4 is having, there are 2 processes. This is your fixed asset project accounting. Okay, you will be performing capital planning, project approval. Then you'll be having a capital project accounting, right? So this vocabulary. So today's session is all the intention we have today's session is to understand all the vocabulary, especially if you are not coming from a finance background. Get acquainted with these terminologies. Get acquainted with the process groups, categories. This 3 level: category, process group, and process. Okay. And activity and task we will be doing in our typically activity we will be doing the bootcamp, task we will be doing in the hackathons. And bootcamps are all the bootcamps we have the 3 days, and tasks it goes up to 90 days. That's the duration usually. And the activities usually we cover in the silver membership and selectively, and we go in deep dive into our gold and diamond membership. We usually cover L5. Okay. So that's kind of a things we will be talking about, and more handholding happens in the higher levels. Okay. So that is how it is in the 9.4. We are having it here 2 L3 processes. We are having. So 9.4 is all about that. Then 9.3 is having 4. So here we have 9.4. 9.4 is having 2 processes. Okay. So you will see here 9.3 is having 2. Sorry, the 9.5 is having. Okay, so the 9.4 is already we have covered. Fixed asset project account. 9.3 we will go now. So the 9.3 is having 4. Okay, so this is the one, 9.3. This covers 4 processes. 4 L3 processes and explain that in terms of Indian breakfast. So we'll break it down to other industry sector, don't worry. And during your hackathon and bootcamp, you can choose your particular sectors. Okay. So that the case studies will be relevant and you will be working on that case studies specifically for your modules. Okay. So this is what I'm expecting, the 9.3. And so here we have a 4 level processes. Then what we have is 9.2. The next one is a 9.2. So the 9.2 is all about here. How many are there? 5. 5 L3 processes we have here in the 9.2. Okay. So this is what we expect. Then we have 9.1. So the 9.1, we have already discussed this one. We have 5 things here. So again, we will be repeating again 9.1. This is all about listing is very important. Okay. And you can think about your company, which processes you're having, which processes you're not having, which processes are relevant, which are more important for you. You can think about it. Okay. So it is not necessarily every process you will be having and you have a relevance for it, but ensure which is relevant, which is most important for you. Okay. And according to that, you can plan for it. But this is a global standard. Okay. APQC standard. So now you are in a 9.1, we have a 5. Now what we are going to do, we will be consolidating all of this thing in our knowledge management tool. So I think this is already doing the activities in the Notion. I can see those responses here carefully, and it will take some time. So let me check, refresh this page a bit. This is a heavy lifting activity. So we are doing. So we have now 11 case studies under 11. So food business, whatever we talked about, is a general one for public. But whenever you'll be coming together next time, so you will be having this kind of case studies for everyone. This is for 9.11 only we talked about. Okay. And same thing we will be expanding upon. Okay. For each and every section. Okay. So managing the taxes, managing all of this thing, right? So these are the 10 L3 processes which you're already having. We talked about. These are the things we already have. That is good. Okay. So now, what we will be doing here is we will not be this case studies. I just thought of capturing, let's say, global trade service I'm talking about, right? What exactly they do? Okay, this is 10.3 L3 process in a real estate context. They've given a context for me, right? So returns on LC for major equipment, audit documentations, trade strategy, construction schedule, all of these things we're talking about. Building material standards, certificates. Okay. So these are your GTS for a real estate sector, right? If I randomly go to a financial sector, you will be having all those alpha processes, but it is again respective for that particular sectors. Okay. So anyway, we will not be going into detail about it for today, and you will be exploring these things in our boot camps. Okay. So today we will be for the particular scenario, we will talk about the things which we have discussed today is the starting from all the processes and understanding you must be having all of this thing. Okay. So what I will do 9.12, this is the entire thing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will need all like a consolidated one. Okay, consolidated Notion for all 11. So definitely it will do for us, but the thing is we will be having this thing. If you're getting in one code, it's very good, but let's see how much it can do. Because it is a limit also. We can export it to sheet as well, okay, in Excel. Okay, otherwise it is good. Okay, so this is the general one. In another way, we can copy it at a point of time for our reference. Then let me go there. So this is one sections. Then section one, another section is here. This is one part of it, the database part of it. And here we maintain everything here like this. Another way what we can do is, no, we are not going to the sector wise here, rather process wise. Okay. So in the process wise, as I said in the top. So you have to experiment with all of this thing, all these tools. This is knowledge management tool, as I said, right? And here I think the same thing it doesn't brought in, but it has brought into a same more better way. Okay. So I will be replacing these things and I will be also working on this and updating all of this thing, right? So we will be having now the level 1 will be the top. This is resources. Okay. when we will be updating all of these things accordingly. Okay. So now every 9%, so this is a duplicate now. I will be updating this database. Okay, so this is the database I will be managing. Okay, I will be updating. Anyway, so but what we have seen today, this is the 9.1 and to 9.11. You can see that. And we will be converting into a database. 15 to turn into database. That is the beauty of using Notion. And here I will be saying that this is my L1 process. And 9.1, and as usual, this is all about the planning part of it. Okay, 9.1 is all about the planning. And we will be doing this exercise again. So I will go here. This is the general one we have. Then this is the one we have here. 9.1. So the 9.1 says the process point of view. If I go here. Okay. So this is the 5 L3 process we're having and all the details. And with an example of a Indian breakfast. So today's theme was all about the breakfast business. And we have seen how do you, and good thing is how do you actually implement all of these things from an enterprise architecture point of view. So some of the tips they have given here. Okay. And we will be clearing this. It's not required. But if you are maintaining like you can link it up. Okay. So this is your 9.1. Planning and management accounting. Right. So now moving on, this is all about the 9.1. Similarly, we can do it for other as well. So this is something we can see. This is your typically implementation of your architecture mindset. 9.2. 9.2 is revenue, mostly revenue accounting, perform revenue accounting. So we will update it accordingly. 9.2 here. So I want this exercise to be done very carefully, especially if you are a business analyst, okay, and not a business architect. You must be knowing all of these things thoroughly, and then only you can discuss all of these things with the technical people, your business people properly. Okay, so this is the crux of today's session. Okay, and 9.2 we have already covered. That is all about the revenue planning, then revenue, then accounting. Then we have assets, payroll, payables, treasury, controls, taxes, consolidation, trade. Okay. So whenever you are designing our own curriculum, right? So what I will do is we will be designing the curriculum in a way, right? It will be a process-driven curriculum, okay? Not a product-driven curriculum. So we don't care about the product features because product features will come and go, right? We will be following this as a North Star. So for our entire learning journeys, okay? And that is more relevant even if you're switching products, whether you're moving from SAP to non-SAP products, or it doesn't matter, okay, whichever product you're using it, and ultimately if you're achieving the goals, right, of organizations, maximizing the profit and, minimizing the risk, minimizing the other costs, okay. So if you're receiving that, it doesn't make it matter whatever you're doing, okay. So in this way, we will be designing this entire thing, okay. Now talking about here in this dashboard, so this is the first thing first. 9.2 also revenue accounting we have covered. Okay, so this is, we will say revenue accounting. In the top also we mention that, otherwise we will not get it. So manage revenue accounting. So this all starts with a verb. As I said, all the processes will be starting. You have to follow the standard nomenclature. Although we are using a shortcut just to remember and for our understanding, but whenever designing this thing, if you're utilizing Signavio, SAP Signavio Process Explorer, or you're utilizing Aris or similar, so many tools in the market, if any kind of a process mining tools you're using, process mapping tools you're using, it ensure you're following the standard, the BPMN standard. So this is all about your 9.1 is about your perform planning and management account. Perform planning and management accounting. So this was, sorry, the 9.2 was perform revenue accounting, which we have done. It's a perform actually. Okay, perform revenue accounting. So this is already we have done. So now next one is perform planning and management accounting. Perform planning and management accounting. So this is the level 2, and this is 9.1, level 1, level 2. We have seen. Now we will go to the next one. So this one we have done. So we have L1 process. This is the L1, L2, and L3. L3 process we are having. This is also having L3. Also make sure we're also making a count of it so that it will be easy for us also to track. So here perform planning and management accounting will mention 5. That means it is having 5 in the level 2. Right? So this is the level 3. Sorry, the level 3 is 5. So this is having 5. Okay. And this one, they already mentioned 0.5. Strategy, forecasting, costing, management, and evaluation. These 5 things we have here. Then comes your performing revenue. This already we have seen. This is having also 5. So here the clarity is the key. How precisely you are doing all of this thing, it matters. Okay. So you will not be getting confused at any point of time. This kind of a precision if you are following, right? So that is why we are going a little slow here. And here if you talk about the 9.3, performing general accounting and reporting, right? So this is the 9.3. So the 9.3 we'll be talking about here. If I open the page in the side pick, I will be having this general accounting and reporting. This is a paste here. And this will be the general accounting and reporting part of it. General accounting and reporting. And what we have is perform general, yeah. Accounting and reporting, right? And this is having how many? 4. Zero, 4, and this is having 4. Okay. So this is also understandable. Now we will be expanding it so that it looks better. Then we have this is already maintained. Now this looks good. Now 9.3 is done. So we have a 5 plus 5 plus 4. This looks good. Now the next one is the assets. So planning, revenue. We talked about revenue planning. And the next one is an accounting. Accounting is done. Accounting is 4. Policies, accounting, assets, and reporting. Okay. Now we will be doing it for the 9.4. 9.4, what we are doing is for here is this one. We will be updating here the 9.4. Sorry, I did it wrong here. 9.4. Okay, I will be updating now. So the 9.4 is, I think, copied the wrong one. Generated. So the 9.4 is all about, this is your 9.2. This is your 9.3. The 9.3 is all about this one. Policies, accounting, assets reporting. Policies, accounting, assets reporting, policies, account. This already have covered, right? This is already have done. So now we'll go to the next one. It's a 9.4. 9.4 is all about fixed asset project accounting. Fixed asset project accounting. This is what we are maintaining here. And with an Indian breakfast example. Under 9.4, there are two L3 processes, approval and accounting, right? Approval accounting. So fixed asset project accounting, what they say in APQC standard 9.4, manage fixed asset project accounting, manage. So this is the 9.4, managing the fixed asset project accounting is there. So now we will go to the next part of it, 9.5. So the 9.5 is all about the processing the payroll. So this is the payroll having three processes and L3. Paste it here. So this one is having three process in L3. So I will mention 03, 9.5, this one, process payroll. Now let's move on to the next part of it. Next part is here we have payables. Okay. So in the payables, what we see here is 9.6. 9.6 having how many are there? Three processes. Accounts payable, processing expense reimbursement, managing the corporate credit cards if you're having. So these three will be coming under 9.6. So this is my 9.6 and these are the three things we have. Accounts payable and expense reimbursement. Account payables. Okay, and it has how many? It has three processes, 03. So 9.6 is done. Okay. So now moving on. Next one is 9.7. 9.7 is having 6 processes. So what we have in 9.7, 6 processes we have. So this is all about the managing your treasury operations. Okay. So now after that, we will go and check. This is at a process level we are understanding. Still, you can see that, right? So this is the 9.7 and how many are there? I'd say 6 L3 processes. Okay. So now we will go to the next part of it. 9.8. So this one is actually talking about 9.7 is all about your policies, your cash, managing in-house bank accounts, the banking part of it, We have a funding, okay, those debt and investment part of it, the hedging, right? And it's all about dispute if you are having anything, right? So those six things will be coming under the treasury operations, right? So these six things will be coming under managing a treasury operations. Okay, so as per our process groups, process standard. Okay, we understood this now. Six things. Now the next one is a control. Next is a control. Control point of view, if we talk about 9.8, this is your internal controls, policies, procedures, operating controls, internal control compliances. Those things will be covered here. So we have a game response here. This one we will be utilizing here. Here. 9.8 has 3. Okay, so I will go here 9.8. In our tool, we will be updating this. And here we go. So So these are all your learning materials. When you go through the case studies, you have to deep dive. Okay. So these are kind of a prerequisite for the boot camps, which I was talking about. So this is the kind of a warm-up exercise which you are doing, right? And I will not be explaining all of these things during the boot camps. You have to execute the L4 and L5, L4 in the boot camps, L5 in the, especially in the hackathons if you're participating, right? So for that, keep in mind all of this terminology, all this processes. So for the reason we are actually explaining all of this in publicly, okay? So that other people, even if they're not part of our premium memberships, still they let them get some benefits out of it, and it will be helpful for them as well. It is for everyone. We call it a citizen architecture program for finance. Okay, you can say that. So managing internal controls. So here we have how many are there? We have a 3. 9.8. Then we have a 9.9. The 9.9 is having 2 again. So 9.9 is all about the taxation, managing the taxes, tax strategy and planning, processing the tax. So the 9.9 is here. Here, you can see that. Strategy and processing part of it. Now what we will be seeing here, the managing the taxes. This is how many we're having 2, strategy and processing part of it. Then comes your 9.10. 9.10, we are having 4 processes. 9.10, 4 processes. And request here. Four part of it. So here we have in the 9.10, we are having is all about managing the international funds and consolidations. Managing international funds and consolidations. Consolidation, and it is having how many processes? You can see that you're having 4. So this is the one. Now, next one is this. So this is done for international funds and consolidations. These are the four things we have done. For L3 processes. Now the next one is what we have. 10 processes having a lengthy one. So I think this is done for us now. This is done. These are the 10 things we have. And this is called Global Trade Service Mapping. Global Trade Service, perform Global Trade Service. And this is having how many? 10. 10 L3 process. Hope you're enjoying this deep level understanding of the processes. So if yes, if you're still there, if you're watching till this particular time of the video, I appreciate much. And thanks for the presence. And meanwhile, this is good. Okay, I think almost we have done it. Okay, so this is good. Process group, this is all the 11, and all 11 has a 1 terms here. As I was saying, planning, revenue, accounting, assets, payroll, payable. So this table we will keep it at the top. For that, we will cut it. We will cut it here like this, like the X. And we will keep it here top. Now all the hard work we have done. So now we will do that. A little bit of a tweaking we will do. So this is the process group under the category 9, process we understood, manage finance. Okay, so this is the category 9 which we have talked about. We will convert into a callout. Under that, we are having this 11 process groups, and one word term for our understanding, we have simplified it. And this is what we have done. L1, manage financial resources, is the category 9 as for the APQC, and these are the 9.1, 9.2, all this we have seen it, right? So similarly, what we have, this is the detail thing, okay? And L3 code, it's okay. L3 code is, I don't think it's needed here. Okay, so it's okay, but meaningful. So we will, at a point of time, we will be updating anyway. It's okay. Now, this is the understanding we have, and for each and everything, we will be having this kind of a details. Okay, so those details are already captured here in each and every individual examples. Okay, and the process under planning management accounting. This is okay. So this table, maybe we can delete it. It's not needed. Already we have done this exercise, right? So this is no longer needed. But anyway, so at a point of time, we'll be updating it. This is okay. Now this GTS, whatever we are having it, this became like all the 11 processes which are having it, right? So these case studies, or whenever you're giving a case studies of finance, now we will be having 11 different process groups, right? So this 11 groups definitely will be helpful for us when you go to a deep dive of this particular case studies. So if you're going for a case studies for, let's say, industry text, okay, These are the things I will be having from an industrial point of view. This is a little deep. We will not be going deep now. And so I know it's a little tricky. And so what we will be doing is consolidate this page. I will say that I will rather say optimize the current page. And remove duplicates in N. Okay, so I can do that. Meanwhile, this is what exactly we're talking. Now coming to the learning journey part of it. So if when it comes to learning journey point of view, if you go to help.sap.com inside the financial management, we have these 7 things we are looking at, right? Financial planning and analysis, accounting and financial flows, tax management, treasury management, account receivable billing and revenue management, GRC, quote to cash, right? So this is at a product level. Okay, this is at a product level we are looking at from a portfolio category point of from a financial management point of view. So for that, you have to go to help.sap.com, and from here you can simply go into financial management. You will see all of these things like this. Okay. So now what our exercise is today, we have to do mapping of all of this product. Today we're focusing on SAP, right? And you can do the same thing for, if you talk about, let's say, Workday Finance, right? Or similarly, all the leading finance product, okay? Same thing you can do. Finance modules, okay? If you talk about that, same principles. So you'll be finding here what are the products available here. And if you go inside it, maybe we will be doing an activity also to identify the top complexity and check out for the top 10 finance products. So you can see that in the Workday Financial Management, if you go here, so here these are different products, how they are actually managing. So you can see that accounting and finance, accounting center, accounting reporting, audit and internal control, fuel and confident expenses, financial planning, global foundations, grants management, projects, revenue management, services, CPQ, right? These are the Workday finance product, right? If I am talking about here, the SAP products, if you see, these are different finance products. If you go inside it one and one, you're finding the details about each and every product, right? Accounting and finance, what does it do? And okay, so you will be finding all the details, right? So what are the key capabilities? They actually defined at a capability level. Okay, you can see that. Finance asset management, revenue cash management, global consolidation reporting, all of this thing. Okay. And they have captured like this. Okay. Finance, all of these things you can see that. Okay. This is the Workday Finance. Okay. This is how they have populated everything. Right. So this is what we have for the Workday point of view, Workday Finance point of view. They have this series product, this is the product, their product series. Okay. And if you go to the overall here, financial, the data set here, if you go here, I'm sure they must have prepared like a brochure. What are the products they have announced? So we will scan it today. Okay, in the meantime, we will be looking at this is the data set of finance management. Okay, this is the, I don't think they have covered like product by product, rather, I think the benefits, financial management. Yes, this is the applications, but again, these are not specific for finance. I see that's a mix of. Right. That is okay. So now if you talk about here, this is the product we're talking about. You can go for it. So similarly, if what we have is we have to map all the product to the as per the APQC standard. Okay, so this is an activity we will be doing. And so I'm just looking at the product set. Anyway, SAP, we were already having it, but resource point of view, we will see that here. Value calculator, reports, product roadmap, those things are okay. But this is the overview. Okay. So now if I go to the complexity or any other AI tool here, so I will go to maybe other tools here, let's say. So here what we will be doing is we will be going to our space here and we will be having a discussion. So let's say financial module. We will be having a space for financial transformations. We will be utilizing this icon. Create and done. So inside this, we will be having focus on financial process. So we'll capture all the 11 process of our APQC. So we will go there. Where is that? These are the 11. So it is already optimized now. I can see that. This is good. So this is we have already seen. Now, these are some examples. So this example will be extending at a point of time, but it's okay. Now, from a product level, so we will go there. So now what I will do, financial planning and analysis. If I go here inside it, I can see multiple modules here. Okay. So we will go one by one, whatever modules we're having it, right? We will be doing an activity, how these are mapped to your APQC framework. Okay. So how we will be doing that? Rather doing like this, we will be cutting the same thread where we have those conversations, right? So I prefer to do that because that will be much easy for us to continue with that rather than coming to a new side of it, right? So for that matter, we will go to that activity again, then where it is. We are doing that activity in Notion only, right? Yeah, this is the Notion activities we are doing. So let it do. So this is the entire restaurant plan, whatever we have seen. Now what I will do, now it is time for product mapping. Okay, so process we understood now. So now we will be going to the product mapping. And in the product mapping, what we will do, we will understand whatever SAP is offering these products, right? They are fitting to which processes, right? So the first one is the capability. Okay, all these things that we are having here. So what I will do here, I will go here and capture this one. I will close. This one we have already covered. I will close. We will go here, product mapping, to start with SAP S/4HANA Finance. And these are my list of products and their features. So what they're actually doing now, you can see that product mapping, now they have done it. At a product level, definitely, you can see this. The 9.1, whatever we have seen, right? The SAP Analytics Cloud, SAP S/4HANA Cloud, SAP Profitability and Performance Management, PAPM, SAP S/4HANA Cloud, right? These are the products they have mapped with us. Okay. Now we will continue with the same thing with others. Let's see that. This is at a product level I'm talking about. Rather, I will, okay, so this is one way they have done it. Maybe product to process if I'm talking about. So let's see that. So first of all, let's do that, all the activities, then we consolidate. Okay, so this is, we have done financial management, the first part of it. So under financial planning and analysis, we have this much. Okay. Then we have accounting and financial closure, right? So this is having the document reporting. So this is having around 8 modules. Okay. So we will talk about everything, accounting and finance close. These 6, 8 things we will talk about. And we will try to map it here in this tool. Then we will map it to the process. Okay. So what I will do, I will go back here, not here, where we are doing that activity. Yeah, this is the activity with PCF, the process map that we have. Okay. So I will now continue with this one. Let's see. So it is taking some time in the while. This is operational for the accounting and financial close will be the real world transactions where your global breakfast business, so it is continuing the breakfast fund, are recorded, evaluated, and reported. And this has done everything from here. You can see that. Right. So this is fabulous. Okay. This is a 9.3, 9.2. Okay. Okay. So actually it has asked me a question, by the way, in the previously. I skipped that question. So I should have answered it. Hmm. So this is the, before that, let's document it. I will otherwise mix it up. So first of all, we have done it for this one, for the 9.1 planning and analysis part. Let's go in a different direction now. So we will continue with the product definitely, but we will be doing a product mapping also at this moment. Okay, so we will do that here. So where to do that? I will go here inside. I will say here, scroll down, and the product mapping. Product to process mapping. So this is the process to product, by the way. So anyway, this is makes sense. Okay, so this is what we have done it. Product mapping. Now, this part we understood. We will continue 9.2. So we will be repeating in this way. At a point of time, I will come to SAP. Let's continue the flow. This is the 9.1 we had seen. 9.3 also we have seen, and before that, I will update this. No, this is actually, I did it wrong. This would goes to the 9.3. So this is the 9.3 we're talking about. Now we have here 9.2. Okay, so this is your 9.2, the product mapping. Process to product mapping. So this is what we have. Now we will continue with the same thing here in others. 9.3. 9.3 is what? General accounting and reporting. I think it's already covered. 9.4 also. 9.5 is payroll. 9.6 is different. Let's see that what they're saying, because it's showing directly 9.7. So I will move 9.2 first. Which is the product we're having here. We can see that the product solution is SAP Credit Management, SPS for HANA billing. Okay, right. So this is your 9.2. Okay, so the 9.2 I've already done it. Let me check one second. Credit invoicing, receivable collections. This is already we have done receivable collections and disbursements. Okay, I've done the 9.2 twice actually. So this is a 9.3. You will go for a 9.3 now. So this is your 9.3 you have done. This is a product. It's for HANA Cloud, it's for policies and all. We have centralized management, global COA, chart of accounts and all. We have SPS for HANA Finance, SAP Cloud for real estate, and all these factory, land, office portfolios and all. SAP Advanced Finance at closing, reporting point of view. And this is okay. This is your accounting part of it. 9.3 is done. Then we go for the 9.4. So the 9.4, we have this is the product mapping for the 9.3 we have seen. So meanwhile, this is also capability time to understand that you can also do it for the Workday and another thing in our product, right? So before that, we go there. We will be doing also check it out in Gartner's. What are the top products in the finance sector? Focus on financial management process. So I was asking here to log in again. So just a minute. Just a minute. It's okay. I will use ChatGPT then. So what we'll be doing here is list down the Gartner Magic Quadrants, top finance FIs, ERP products in 2026, 2025. Definitely, as expected, SAP, Oracle, Workday, Microsoft, Infor, so many other things. And the most frequently mentioned, this four are the leading: SAP Cloud ERP, Oracle Fusion Cloud ERP, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance, Workday Financial Management. Product centric versus service centric. So product centric, that actually the leaders are SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, and all these things. Service centric, Workday, Oracle, SAP is both in both places. It's okay. So now, okay, so we will be looking at this core product only, as these are the Gartner lab leaders. Okay, so we will just mention it. So this is the Gartner list. And we will be doing a mapping here in the top, saying that we will just make a note of it somewhere here. The Gartner market analysis, Gartner report. So here what we see is for the reports. These are the top, and we will be doing it only the comparison for the top four only. So these are the four products. For each processes, how they are actually playing the role. Who are the leading and operating we will be looking at. So here, as we see that, so we do that activity anyway. So 9.1, the product mapping. I will say that continue the product mapping. Extend rather. In that table, make comparative table, which are the modules in the table. So this is the prompt which you'll be utilizing. Let's see. So it will be beneficial for everyone, whether you are using SAP, Oracle, Workday, or Microsoft, it doesn't matter, or any other small ERPs where you're using okay. Okay. As long as you're understanding the product mapping to each and every process, what are the different categories of 11 categories of problems we have seen, and the subcategories, and on how those are actually, which product is offering, which process is actually achieved by the which of the product. Okay, so mostly you will see like this, and this is how the detailed things we are looking at. Just making the request for changes here. And same thing, we're going to do it in everything, every process. So this is done. 9.2, the process to product mapping. I will be utilizing the same prompt here as well. So it's all about understanding. It's not about the configurations. The configurations definitely you will be doing that. This nowadays, that's not how you can understand the entire portfolio. That is the ecosystem of the product, right? So today's session, I think I'm sure we got the benefit of it, that you are thinking like an architect. Okay. So whatever architect is maybe, okay, the solution architect, enterprise architect, or data architect, or whatever application architect, doesn't matter. But you're having that mindset of an architect, that you are understanding all this comparative thing, right? In a very holistic way. Okay. So this is the intention behind conducting this as a session. Okay. So now we will continue the same thing with other processes as well. The idea is not about learning one module, learning some quick transitions. I have seen people putting 130 cores in the cheat sheet format. Okay, those are all key. I know there are having importance, but those are too operational. Nowadays, those things are already done, can be done using your typical AI, right? So, but this kind of a thinking, understanding, planning, right? You have to continue. So, which is actually, you will be at the end of the day, you will be taking the decisions. Okay. Many times, this EA consultants, especially enterprise architecture, people evaluate the product, which is the best fit for the client's ecosystem. Okay? AI may give you a suggestions, but it will not be taking the decisions for you. Right? It will be influencing to some extent, but at the end of the day, you're validated as an architect. That is where your this kind of skills matter a lot. So we will continue with this. Meanwhile, I'm checking the other stuff. So where were we? We were here, and it was talking about the specific for SAP, right? 9.4, 9.4, SAP S/4HANA Finance, S/4HANA Finance. I think this is pretty much straightforward. 9.4 is typically all the kind of investment program, asset under constructions, AUC, for the new facility, and LC, all costs captured before the final capitalization, right? So that is the 9.4. Then we have a 9.5. 9.5 was all about the payroll part. Actually, this is not done here. To be honest, it is actually if you're utilizing success factor and central payroll or as S4HANA payroll is done there. And the time tracking is done there. As for success factor, or if you're having S4HANA finance, labor cost allocations is done there. So this is the 9.5. Okay. So next to the 9.6 is all about, again, these are also very similar, nothing new. So if I see here, the process accounts payable and expense accounts payable, and account payable is having these are the different things: maintaining, managing electronic commerce, audit invoicing, approving payments. So many things we have: responding to queries, retain records, accounting records. Similarly, L3 will be having processing expense, reimbursements, all of this thing, right? So the 9.6, it says that reimbursements are done in SP Concur, definitely, for any kind of mobile expenses, travel expenses, allowed work, those kind of expenses, right? Spends management, all these things are there. Similarly, credit is S4HANA Finance, payable is for HANA Finance, right? So the 9.63 is done here, right? Then we have a 9.7. 9.7 is having 6 processes. 9.7. 9.7 is having all kind of treasury operations part of it. So we have a banking, but we have SAP multi-bank MDC and multi-bank connectivity, SAP cash management, policy management in S4HANA Finance, funding in treasury and risk management. So treasury and risk management is taking care of 3 things. Funding part of it, the 9.7.4, then hedging part of it, the 9.7.5, then the dispute, any kind of a dispute since they are having it, right? That is taken care of here. So that is the 9.7 here. Okay. So now we do have a 9.8. 9.8, we will see which are those. So the 9.8 will be all about internal controls. So I see these are taken care of mostly by advanced financial closing, as for HANA Finance, tax compliances, all these things are there. 9.9 is all about the tax management, what we see. So here in the 9.9, we have a developing the and some organizations that do have a document and reporting compliance, the DRC, SAP DRC reports. This is the part we have. Then comes your 9.10. 9.10 is managing the international funds and consolidation. 9.10. So in this section, we're talking about all of the SAP products, but in the Notion, actually, we'll be operating both actually. So that it will be beneficial for everyone who are using the top 4 products as per the Gartner list. So the 9.10 we are talking about here, we have a S4HANA Finance, and similarly SAP Treasury and Risk Management to take care of something. We have a group reporting for also data collections, okay? Gathering financial data from all business units. Even those not on S4HANA, you can prepare a group level reporting. So there is a group reporting data collections module we have. Okay. This is the 9.10. Then 9.11 is having 10. So this is having a dedicated module for 9.11. So what we see here in the 9.11, we have the pop-up in the global trade service. It is the GTS. Okay, global trade service itself is a module. Okay, and also some of the components are taken care by the DRC module. That is your document and reporting compliance and global trade services. Okay, this is how it has been done. So I think this is good. Okay. Technical mapping of all the process groups under 9.0. Yes, right, correct. So now what we will be doing here, we will be going back to our Notion. So we will see that. Okay, so this is an activity which we are doing it for the overall products. Okay, all the 4 products we're comparing here, right? And this is we have done it till the 9.3. Right. So now we will continue this exercise here parallelly. and with the SAP as the leading product, but we are also not biased about the other products, no vendor lock-in. So we are also say, giving equal emphasis on the other competitive products. So what we are seeing here is extending this, okay, and before that, so let's capture the first. This is our prompt we will be capturing. So 9.4, what we had previously. So this was, we have 9.11. So we will be utilizing this here first. Then we will go to the other topic. So the product and process mapping, which you're talking about, we will capture it here first. We will do it here. So this is the mapping. So process to product mapping, process to product mapping. Sorry, yeah, that wrong. So this is we have done for the 9.11. And we will be continuing with the other process. So I'll quickly repeat that. Then we will be continuing with the overall. Okay, so this is the 9.11. This is the 9.10 for international funds and consolidations. We'll paste it here. This is the fourth thing we have here. Then we have 9.9. The 9.9 is having 2. It is super easy. Paste it here. Then 9.8. Managing internal controls. So these are the three, three level, three process. Paste it here. Then 9.7. Having 6. So entire 9.7 having 6 process. Then 9.6. So the 9.6 we are having. Accounts payable and expenses. So this is the 9.6 we have done. Then next is 9.5. And next is your 9.4. That is your fixed asset project accounting. This is the 9.4. Then we have a 9.3. I think the 9.3 I have already done it to check. This is the 9.2, 9.2 I already done it. So let me go there. Process to product mapping we have done. Extended it. This is the extended mapping of 4 products. Okay. So now this is what we will be copying pasting here everywhere. Just to make it separate. No, this is not the way. Hmm. Process to product mapping. So here also process to product mapping. This is the seat. This is the process to product mapping. We will highlight it. Now the next one is here. Managing the treasury operations. These are the things we have. This mapping is done. So whatever tools you're utilizing it, you properly document it, and this is the learning we have now. How do you manage all of these things in your process mapping tool or whatever you're doing it, right? So unless and until if you're not able to trace all of these things, there's no point of having in a sophisticated tool like Signavio or whatever you are using it, right? So you have to ensure you're tracing which product, which process, which part of it, right? Component is doing what activity. So you should be able to trace all of this thing. That's the idea, right? So this is the 9.9 we have done. 9.10. This is the one. About 9.11. This is already done. So only thing is now we have to do an extension. Okay, so this is we have done it first of all in the for SAP, and the remaining 4 product, which is the Gartner, we have specified this Gartner leading product, right? So I will put this 4 product first. I will be utilizing the same prompt here. This extend the process to product mapping. Sorry, we are doing process to product, right? Process to product mapping. All Gartner leading finance products. This 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Workday Finance. We have Microsoft Dynamics 360 Finance, SAP S/4HANA Cloud, Oracle Fusion Cloud ERP. These are the 4 products we are saying. Okay, and this will be utilizing as a prompt here. So I will mention the prompt here so that you will also can try if you want to try some other product if you're having in a company. So this is the codex we will utilizing here. I think I have not mentioned, is it? Let me check that in the top. So this is the codex for you, or the AI prompt, whatever you can say. We will say that extend this product process to all the things like this. Okay, so this is the codex we will be utilizing. and let me press it here. So it will do the activity and we will see this. I know this is a long activities and meanwhile, what I would like to say here also, and in the future, in the upcoming sessions, so we will be going to another tool where we have as an enterprise architect, we will be doing the mapping. Sorry. Meanwhile, open that. I think meanwhile it is updating this. So this is the one. So this is the codex which you have used. I think this has done it job. Uses root edited this particular page. So we'll accept it with the L3 one term. One word term L3. Okay. So they're saying that L3. Okay, that's okay. And so stability, then the tag is property number, the select property, and text property like this. Okay, so this one we would like to point of time check. So, but anyway, this is the codex, and we see that for each and every processes, we are having the respective suite of the product. Okay, so wherever it is not having any tool, they are clearly mentioning that they are having a third party. Just like in Workday, I have seen for payroll, they are not as strong as an SAP. Usually, they have gone through a third party tool. Outside, if it is done outside, I can see that. Okay. Extended Oracle. They're having something internally. I see that. So this is a quick comparison of all of the products, which is mapped to the product, this process, right? So we will continue this exercise with other things, then we will close this today. And we will be ending up with this only. So global trade services we have seen. Now the next process to product mapping is this one. So it will continue with that activity. Meanwhile, it is doing that activity. We will be showcasing something here. Okay, so meanwhile, I will talk about a learning journey first. Okay, so this is anyway, we will be continuing with this. So which module is already mapped to which one and all of this thing, right? Then there is a learning journey, people who are till the end. So in the boot camps and all, definitely we'll be using the official learning journey from SAP, but with our applications. So understanding the application is very, very important for us. How you actually apply those knowledge in our industries. Okay, otherwise there's no point in learning something. Okay, so here what we will be seeing here. So I will log in. The learning hub I'm logging in. So basically the learning.sap.com, nowadays a lot of materials publicly available you can access. Certificate is one part, but learning will not be stopped there. Okay, so here what you see here is there is something called browse here. I'm actually opening the learning.sap.com. Inside that, if you go, you will be having something called Definitely there are product by things we are having it. Okay, product wise also can learn, especially the learning journeys and everything. Otherwise, you can go by product here also. So we have talking about financial management here. So in the financial management, what are the products we are having it, right? And currently SAP Sapphire is going on. So you can see there are, you may get a 25% discounts if you are having, okay, going through that, okay. From a learning journey point of view, you can see that Sapphire learning journey, okay, starts here. So discovering the autonomous enterprise. So this is a new thing. So you should go through positioning the autonomous enterprise. I think here they are giving us achievement, leading to an achievement. Okay. Then we have, they're all free courses by the way. Okay. And the learning journey is like a curriculum. Okay. So that is what exactly. And it has to go to a certification process. Okay. So we have a courses, we have positioning the autonomous enterprise. These two things are very new here. And the next part is in the Sapphire learning journey, you see that SAP certified positioning SAP business suite via SAP financial management solution. These are all certificate. This is a certification. And also we have infusing SAP business AI into finance process. This is a 1 hour. Okay. These are the courses. Out of that, only one is offering a leads to an achievement certificate, but other things are just for learning. And that means we are having a, if you discover more, you'll be finding a lot of things. Upscaling for success at SAP Sapphire, right? And these are the details we are having. It's the partner-led SAP learning class. Okay, all of these things. So these are okay. So now you can see that till June 12, we have a discount, I think we are having. If you are interested, you can go and book for certifications like that. And Q3 learning certificates for SAP, every SAP as Sapphire track, you can see. Like we are currently doing here autonomous CX, autonomous. So everything actually now became autonomous actually. So this Sapphire, actually they have everything is an autonomous. Okay, just like autonomous finance and everything, right? If I go to autonomous finance here, technically it could take to this page only. And here I will see all those things which are required. Okay. So here under this financial cloud private edition, so they offer this many courses. Okay, especially financial accounting, management accounting, treasury, quote to cash, real estate, central finance, GRC, financial group reporting, and there are some resources you'll be finding here. There's some communities you'll be finding here. All of these things, you can see that. Okay. But if you want to start a learning journey, this is a starting point, especially from SAP point of view, if you're looking at autonomous finance. Okay. Earlier, they used to call it intelligent enterprise, a lot of things. This year, actually, the theme is like autonomous enterprise, intelligent to autonomous. I see that everywhere I can see that is an autonomous here, right? This is the thing I can see that. So coming to the autonomous enterprise, I will say this will take 1 hour and you can quickly finish it. Okay, what is autonomous? This is all about AI part, autonomous suite. So all of these things actually position. They have position. You'll be finding here all the details. Okay. So Joule is everywhere. You can see that autonomous finance, autonomous spend, autonomous HCM, autonomous SCM, industry AI. This is something you'll be finding. Earlier we used to see that intelligent, everything. Now the theme goes towards this autonomous. Everything is independent. Everywhere we are having AI agents. It's like business AI as a platform, agent apps, data, right? I remember that my mentor also used to say like similar thing. In the coaching industries, also we are having similar thing, agentization, applications. So the third part is actually the data here, but third part coaching is a different thing. So you require more humanizations. Okay. So that is something I can connect. Okay. So autonomous CX, autonomous SCM, autonomous spend, autonomous finance. This is very interesting. Okay. And this is what exactly they are talking about. I think this is something very interesting. You should go through it and you should be able to, understand the business value out of it, how does it work, and all of these things, right? So we have to understand all of these things accordingly. Autonomous, okay? Okay, that is good. So I think this is almost covering everything. So this is something you can recently has SAP current Sapphire just to, it is ongoing by the way, as I speak, okay? And this is even I have to complete, okay? So this is something I'm going to complete and I will be tagging this. So this is to just 1 day back actually. So if you're completing it, you will be getting the certificate, okay? So I would recommend subscribe, resume learning from here. This will not take much time. Okay. So this is pretty much okay. AI is everywhere, results are not. Okay, that is really true, right? So this is something we have to go through, and so this is pretty much theoretical, but it will be giving a lot of insights. You should go through it. Okay. Although SAP has been promoting its own thing, autonomous enterprise, all these things, you can expand your knowledge on this, but it is pretty much you can, participate in the quizzes and all of this thing, which also I'm planning to do in the next 1 or 2 days, right? So I will highly recommend go through this first. This is the recent one. Then after the learning journey, you should go for the, so you, as we're talking about the finance side of it, right? Financial management. The first thing first is your autonomous enterprise. Then how do you position your autonomous enterprise in the context of business, right? What are the different service portfolio? What are the different engagement model? This is out from SAP point of view, SAP's business point of view. So you can just have a look into it. Okay, if you are in SAP, purely focusing on SAP only. Okay, so that is something you can talk about, right? Sort of the industry AI scenarios. So this is pretty much revamped, okay, reboot by SAP. Okay. So that is something, okay, I was satisfied, otherwise they will be angry. Okay, this is agree, I will say that. Pretty much easy nowadays compared to earlier. It's okay. So I will submit it. So I'm a customer. Now needs to reference required for us. All these things are required for me. So I will submit it. Okay, so this is okay. So now this is actually I will recommend. I will go look into it. Rise and SAP starting fresh with SAP Global Agentic AI. How agentic AI is actually helping everywhere. You will be seeing that, right? So this is your fastest positioning the autonomous enterprise. Autonomous enterprise here we are seeing that. We have understood that in the financial management. We have discovering the autonomous enterprise. This is the positioning the autonomous enterprise. Now this module is very, very important for you, all of you, especially what are the things actually for a financial management point of view. Okay, so this learning will replace the alignment plus statistical Sapphire. Okay, so in June they're actually going to update, by the way. It's okay. So, but still we can have a fundamental clear this learning content strategy for Sapphire in June 2026. Okay, so they are still updating this thing, but meanwhile the content is very important. So you'll be going through this process first, okay, and you can earn a badge. So this is your certification badge you will be getting, and this is a 6 hours. I see that they are having process, so you can go through that. This is what are the solutions you are having from a finance point of view. What I've already have talked about it today and today's sessions. What are the key priorities? These are internally, you can see that external barriers, all of this is the same. We talk about the value creation in this. I'm not going to read out everything. So this is a homework for all of you. You can go to the learning journeys. And so this is the entire CFO suite we are having. Finance is coming here on the top of it. B2B platform, we have financial agents. And this is what exactly we have, right? So this is the entire thing we are having for finance point of view. Then this looks more theoretical these days, okay? But at least you'll be understanding which of the modules are meant for what treasury. So this is what exactly we talked about, right? Financial planning and analysis. This is what exactly very important for us. Accounting and financial flows, treasury and working capital, quote to cash, tax and trade, governance, risk and compliance. So there everything put into six bucket, right? And this is what is very important for us. And they've explained here whatever we have discussed in a very comprehensive way. What are the things they are going to cover, tax and trade. So they have combined all of these things to 6 part. Okay. So all the details they captured here. Then I think this is good. Specific finance, business data cloud, all the other capabilities they're talking about here. So BDC is also very popular these days, business data cloud. Okay. Then all the details, they're given some case studies, and based on that, they have captured it. Okay, so I recommend to go through this one first, Autonova and some case studies like that, even here. So this kind of things are really required. And because now the certification process also has changed, you have to go to scenario-based questions and everything, right? So this is what makes sense for us. Mhm. Now this is your discovering the SAP financial management thing. So this is which we can go through. Okay. And this is having a certification. Okay. So this is one thing from a financial management point of view. Then after understanding this, positioning as the financial management solution, so this is pretty much straightforward. This module is very much easy. Business AI for finance as a financial management solutions. It's nothing so difficult to do, I don't think. This is the positioning part of it, okay, which is also having a certification. 6 hours estimate time you have to go through. The next one is your actually SME certified. Okay, so for that, we have a certification. And then we have a business AI into financial process. This is what exactly we have. But if you talk about capability learning, financial accounting, management accounting can go individually. Okay, so these are a different course level. Okay, so learning journey you are seeing here, implementing. This is actually the thing. Okay, the financial accounting, each and every module have its own certificate, module wise I'm talking about, right? So here we have this is a learning journey and it will be taking 77 hours, not 1 hour, 2 hours. This is a lengthy one. So this is we can start with, and it is having 6 courses. The core settings, we have then additional settings, and we have a financial closing, asset accounting, cloud, SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition, Rise with SAP. Then comes your certificate. So there are 6 steps, 6 courses, you can say that. And okay, so actually what they have done, they have infused AI, by the way. And so that is what they have done. Okay, so if you go inside it, you will definitely find it. And you go inside, start learning, you will be finding all of these things. So here, you verify all the things they've explained, or unit, and all these things we'll be doing in the hackathon section. So these are very, segment detailed activity. So we will be doing all of these things in the hackathon. And the boot camps will be having again a case studies based. We will be going through. Okay, so that is what exactly we were expecting. I think I'm not going through all the details now. So I think this is good. Now we will be going back to so this is a learning journey which you have to go through and all. So we can also get certified also directly from here. We can search for, you can see there are product category. You can choose financial management here. Okay. And if you apply, I think financial is having one present. You can click apply. Okay, so uses to CAS. Okay, that's a different. I see that. This is a role based. Okay, anyway, product category. Okay, second building S/4HANA. I think they are capturing anywhere else. So based on that, you can basically you can go for the certifications and everything. So it is the financial management, maybe in the spend management, might be covering it. But if I say product wise, so you can see that finance must be having a lot. These are the scenario compensations. What does it mean? If I say free, what does it mean? Choosing Employee Central. Okay, Employee Central is having a core payroll. Okay, understood. So this is how they have positioned nowadays. You can go here and finance. Okay, finance, if I tell you, nothing is happening. I think these people they are revamping all of these things now. So come on those. You may need to wait for that if you need. Okay. So anyway, so if I talk about BT build, okay, build one is there, build one is actually build code here. If you're talking about SAP build, one is a backend developer and another one is a certified developer. It's okay. This is the SAP build. Okay, good. So you can think about it, all of these things, it will be very helpful. Okay. So I think this codex is also ready for us and we can continue this exercise. Okay. Meanwhile, I will be giving an attendance who are till there and I'm just activating the attendance and you are those who have joined, you will get 100 points in today's sessions. And now let's go to the part of it where this is the codex we have applied. So in the previous section, okay, this is the codex, so we will be utilizing everywhere. So 9.9, the text management, we see that here. So what we will be doing here is, here we will be continuing with here. This is the codex 9.9. Here we have SAP S/4HANA Finance, text compliance, DRC is a very important module as well. Documented reporting compliance, we are calling it, right? So this is also, we should be familiar. So we can see there are multiple modules and today SAP Finance people who are actually learning. Okay, so there we will be having people having multiple skills. Okay, so then only they can survive in the market. The only one skills little challenging, I see. Okay, so this is what we have here. Actually what it has done. I will control share. Below that, I will mention the. So let it be like this. So we will see this. 9.8 also will do that activity. So meanwhile it is updating, we will see the other things. So what we have is autonomous enterprise they're talking about. Definitely. But here, the product wise, you can see the tax management has a lot of things again. Excise management, responsible design and production, tax compliance for SAP S/4HANA, right? From a module wise, also you can check it out. Okay, in which modules, and they're actually capturing the code to cash also here. I can see that your subscription billings, if you are having any, you know, um, sales, not public edition sales service, those are also part of this, by the way. They are captured on like this. Sustainability management is a different thing. But financial management, if you talk about receivable billing, GRCs, all of these modules are captured here. Risk management, so many modules you can see that. There's some security, all the security module, access, data custodian, private, SAP privacy governance, okay, SAP GTS, which I talked about, right? The last of process, if you remember, right? Enterprise threat detections, SIEM, security information usage management, SAP audit management, SAP risk and assurance management, process control, all of these things are coming to them. So meanwhile, I'm just checking in. There's updated one. I think it is taking some time. Okay, these things we will definitely Gartner leading finance suites for system product mapping. Okay, this is already done here. It is updated on the top actually. I'm not surprised. Hmm. Okay, the same thing we're doing for the treasury operations as well. So the treasury operations we go here. Hmm. So it is mapped already. You can see that process to product mapping. Which is a product, okay, and according to that it is updated everything. So we will accept it. It's okay. And the same thing we will be doing it for the accounts payable and expense reimbursements. Payable and expenses, everything, whatever we're having. Profit to pay cycle, they're talking about here. And right, so this is a Gartner mapping. This is the SAP thing. We have already these things here, right? So this is good. And we will continue with this. I will accept it. Then your processing payroll is straightforward. So now this is what we have, the mapping, the Gartner leading financial suites we are having. Then we have like this. This is your Gartner mapping. Right. Now we do it for the 9.4 as well. I think 9.4 we have done it on board. Let me check. No, we have not done it. So this is very fun way of learning. So actually, once the case studies are ready, then again it will be much easy for us to do all of these activities, the task level things whenever you're going to the hackathons, right? Hackathon will be like a 90 days process, they say. Okay, you have to go through and typical detailed processes. Okay. And so we will give more instruction about that in upcoming weeks. But this is just an awareness session. So today, whatever we're doing is just an awareness that we are aware of all of these things. Okay. So not only SAP, but all the competitive products, the market, right? So that if you want to switch, you can also switch at any point of time. No product lock-in or vendor lock-in, we call it, right? So if you understand the process, you can do, if you can do SAP, you can do the Oracle, you can do the Oracle Workday or Microsoft Dynamics at any point of it. So this is just a tool set. Nothing so difficult to do. Okay. Now we will go to the 9.3. We will be the general accounting and reporting part of it. Okay, this is already done it. Okay. So I think we're done then. So what we'll be doing here, also we'll be putting some icons. We'll beautify this a little bit. This page, and this page we will go to our main people who are subscribed in the boot camps, okay, and they will be getting the access to this page and all the materials, contents, whatever we have developed. Okay, so also including the case studies, which will be integrating, and all of these things we will be, part of our thing. Okay, so I will just check it out a little bit. Create a diagram based on the base. Okay, so let's see that. I have never tested it. So it has given us a very simple diagram, so which is actually we understood already. Now it is good. Planning, revenue, accounting, assets, payroll, payables, treasury, controls, taxes, consolidation, trade. So this is summarizes almost everything for us. 9.1, that's the focus. Similar 9.2, 9.3, 9.4 to be having its own. That's it. That is good. So this one is actually the top level. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, this is I really like it. This is good. Okay, so this is something really helpful. Frequency doesn't damage. Okay, so this image is definitely we will insert into this page and as a category diagram, APQC framework with restaurant specific examples, menus, seasonality, food waste, ingredient price volatility. Right? This is good. Okay. So now what we will be doing is, we would be updating all the icons. What are we seeing? So we will be getting published at that point of time. So this is the episode 1 and for today's session. So just to summarize what we have seen, we have started with the typical financial processes, and in the initial 90 minutes we talked about all those topics. And then under that we have covered all of the APQC framework, which is a framework for all the process classification, the way we do it, right? And then we have seen all the activities on learning journey point of view, okay, and all those things we have completed, right? So this is all the 11 processes we have deep dive, and also we have product mapping, okay, not only the SAP, but also we talked about the Workday, we talked about the Oracle Fusion, Fusion Oracle Cloud, and ERP, and talked about Microsoft. These are 4 leading products as the Gartner standard. We have got it. Looking forward to more sessions and stay tuned. And if you're not registered for the upcoming boot camps, and you'll be getting all of these things in a simple membership model. And for that, simply you have to come to, I will be giving the link in the chat, as well as I will be having a special offer for all of you. So you will be getting all of these things very simple. I will just give you the link now. So this link, if you go, and you will be getting our memberships thing already. If you're already a member, part of our communities, you may not require to go through and simply register for our webinar. And you just stay tuned for our boot camps and hackathons regularly. So I will just load it. So you will be getting the webinar discount only. You are getting an extra discount. This is webinar offer you are getting it. Right? So that's all. So I will be sharing the link, and detail will be getting the upcoming days. Okay? So thank you very much. Looking forward to you seeing you in the next session. Take care. God bless. Bye bye. See you there in the next session.